We are all together. Oladele, good to have you. Marine, fantastic. All right, so two things we're going to do very quickly before we start. I would love to know if you've joined. Okay, let's start with this, all right? Type where you're joining us from, the city, the country. If you're joining from Lagos, Nigeria, you're joining from the UK, from the US, just type it into the chat. Gideon from Ghana, Kemi from Lagos, Richard from Accra, Canada, UAE, Ghana, South Africa. Fantastic. We're expecting more people to join us today. But however, we'll start the session and they'll join us as we move along. All right. So today we'll be looking at how to leverage ChatGPT. Olawale from Sheffield, you're welcome to the session today. And we'll be doing something absolutely amazing. All right. Something absolutely amazing. Some of you might have seen it before, but I'm sure 90% of you will be seeing this for the very first time. We'll leverage the power of AI and the power of a large language model like ChatGPT to help us do something phenomenal today. Precious from Aberdeen, thank you for joining us. Philip from Jos, welcome to the session. All right. We're going to get started. We'll have a practical session, and then for a lot of you who would like to get into data science, into data analytics, the confusion is always, first of all, what's the difference between the two? And then how do I start? All right, so we'll start with the practical session. I'll show you how to leverage a new technology, a new tool that has, remodeled and changed the way we work today as data professionals, and would also dive into the nitty-gritty of what it takes for you to get into data analytics or data science. What should you learn? How should you start? Where should you stop? How to apply to jobs? And then I'll take questions and answers. So let me start by sharing my slide, and then we'll get off to the main meat of our session today. You're all welcome to join us. If you are joining us for the second time, if you've joined us before for a masterclass, either this month or previous month, just type in 1 into the chat. If you've joined us before for a previous masterclass, just type in 1 into the chat. You've joined the previous masterclass. Perhaps this is your second or your third or your fourth masterclass. Just type in 1 into the chat. Okay, welcome back to another amazing masterclass. And for those who are joining newly, you're also welcome to join us for the first time. We'll have an amazing time, just like we always do during our session. I'd want our session today to be as interactive as possible. So if you have questions, as soon as they occur to you, take them down. Feel free to ask your questions, and I'll be very happy to answer. Okay, so let's see what we have today, what we have in stock, and what we'll be looking at in the next 2 hours. We'll be looking at how to leverage ChatGPT as a data professional, as a data analyst, and as a data scientist, all right? And you'd want to know what we do at Analytics. Who are we, and what are we all about? For us, Analytics is an educational technology company focusing on helping Africans and people of the Black community to get into tech. And we do this by providing premium training programs across the tech ecosystem, especially within the data space, from data analytics to data science, to data engineering, financial analytics, HR analytics, business analysis, power platform engineering, and so on and so forth. One of the things we pride ourselves on is on the quality and the structure of how we get you into tech, and the quality of the professionals that work with you to help you make that transition. That has always been the major challenge. You have a whole lot of people who have started at one point in time. I want to get into tech. I want to be a data scientist. I want to be a data analyst, but then they fall short or they stop during the way. You have tons and tons of online courses that you've bought, but you've never been able to complete them. You've never been able to make that transition. Just like when I was starting about a decade ago, it was very difficult for me to get started. And it took me about 2 years. And the reason was simply because There were no mentors. There was nobody I could, look up to say, oh, I want to get this done, or I have this error. I've tried to do this. I'm getting this error. How do I overcome this particular challenge? There was nothing like that. So pretty much myself and the co-founder of Analytics, we were study buddies. We used to study together and try to, hack the data ecosystem. How do we get into it? How do we learn Excel? How do we learn Power BI? So it was painstaking. And what we did eventually, after 2 years of trying to, transition, we came up with a system, a structured program and created a platform to help more Africans to get into the data space in a way that you wouldn't have to take 2 years and have to struggle through, solving problems yourself without any guidance or without any structure. I learned things that were necessary, and I learned things that were very unnecessary. That looking back today, I had no business wasting my time on those things. And a lot of you would have wasted time on learning things that are not useful and not relevant to your transitioning journey. And those are some of the things I'll be breaking down today. And for us, we've been able to help about 1,000 people within the last 3 years to get their first jobs in tech across the globe, from the UK to Canada to the US. And we'll be showing you how we've achieved that and why we have been so successful in helping people transition across the major economies. Once again, my name is Adeza Suleiman. For those that are just joining, I'm a data analytics expert with close to a decade years of experience across different companies, worked with some of the largest organizations across sub-Saharan Africa, the UK, worked as a data science consultant in the UK, the US, across different companies in Europe. I've worked in the energy sector. I've worked in professional services, the financial services sector to be specific, educational technology, sports, and also automobile sector. I've personally trained about 8,500 people and helped them get into tech. So that's just a brief introduction about myself. And I'm also the founder of Analytics. Now, we'll be showing you how to navigate the data world, how to break into data analytics, and how to get into the space. Most especially for those of you who have started, but then you've hit a stumbling block and you don't know what to do. I've seen different categories of people. There are people that have started and then they had to stop because they felt, I've just been learning and I'm not sure what I need to learn next. I don't know where I need to stop. Okay. And I've also met a different category where they really don't know how to start. And what I've seen over the years is I've seen people learning from the top down, which is the most difficult way to learn. So it's like building a house, but you are building from the roof, which is almost impossible. All right. So rather than learning the foundation, the building blocks, and then working your way up, which is a bottom-up approach, I've seen a lot of people learn from a top-down approach, and that has made it almost impossible for them to transition. I've also seen people who are fantastic, smart, young, men and ladies, but they can't get a job. Fantastic in the use of Excel. Sorry, I'm just going to mute everybody so that we don't have distractions along the line. I've also seen all right, sorry about that. I think I was just trying to mute everybody. Okay. So I've also seen instances where very young people, very fantastic, intelligent, smart people, experts with the use of different analytic tools, but they cannot get a job. And why is that so? And that's simply because they have no social proof, they have no proof of work, and they have no experience. All right. And these are some of the things I would cover today and show you how you can get social proof, number one. Number two, how you can prove that you've done these things before, and how you can also showcase that you've had experience as a data analyst or as a data scientist with a reputable organization. Okay. All right. So let's get started. We're going to look at a case study, like I mentioned, practical case study would use ChatGPT to help us answer these questions. Now, it's a data set. For those that joined the HR Analytics Masterclass yesterday, we used these same data sets. We're using the data set today, but doing something totally different, all right? And would use ChatGPT to come up with solutions. Some people I've told some people that, look, you can build dashboards with ChatGPT. It will do everything for you from start to finish, end to end. And it will be like, wow, it's a lie. I don't think that can happen. I don't think it's possible. Again, you can carry out analytics, do your exploratory data analysis. You can come up with charts and visualizations without having to write any formula, any calculation. All you have to do is tell ChatGPT to do it for you. And I would say these are changing times for us. And this is simply because you have scenarios today or situations where, as a data analyst or as a data scientist, your work becomes more efficient and effective. You get it done at the snap of a finger, at the blink of an eye, and you also get the right results because you have tools that make work easy for you. And when people say that AI will take my job and AI is here to replace jobs, I just simply tell them that, look, AI is here to make your work a lot easier and a lot more seamless. All right. So we are using ChatGPT, but what is ChatGPT? What is ChatGPT and what is it all about? Okay. So before we start using ChatGPT, ChatGPT itself is a large language model. It's a generative AI tool, and it's also a natural languaging processing tool. But what does all this mean? What does it mean? It simply means ChatGPT can take prompts from you. You can type text just like you chat with your friend, you chat with your colleague, and ChatGPT would respond and give you the results that you want. But even take it a step further, it would give you human-like responses and can even do your data analytics for you. It can analyze your data, it can come up with visualizations, it can build your dashboard and do a whole lot more, all right? So ChatGPT is simply a natural language processing tool driven by AI, obviously, and developed by a company called, or an organization called OpenAI. And like I mentioned, it interacts and gives you feedback that are human-like, just like you're having conversations with a real human being. Okay. It can help with so many things. Absolutely fantastic in how it gets stuff done for you. For me, I call ChatGPT my personal technical assistant. Okay. Personal technical assistant. So I have a creative block. I'm trying to do something, but I'm not creative. I really can't come up with the right type of questions to ask. I ask ChatGPT, come up with questions for me. Look at this data set. Tell me how you think I should analyze the data. All right. And like I said, these are interesting times for people in tech, because if your work used to be this stressful now, and you get paid, let's take, for example, you get paid about $100,000 per annum, and your work used to be this stressful, your work would now be this stressful, a lot less stressful, and you still get paid the same amount of money simply because you have tools that would make work a lot easier. All right. Now, for those of you that have not used ChatGPT before, let me just find out quickly. So I'll ask the question before we move on. Okay, just give me 1 second. All right. So let's find out. If you have never used ChatGPT before, type no into the chat. You've never used ChatGPT, hearing of it for the first time. You've heard about it, but you've not used it. Just type no into the chat. Okay, so quite a number. All right. No, 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 you haven't used ChatGPT. Now, I've made things a lot easier for you. I have put all the details that you need. You have that on the slide. So how to set up your ChatGPT, how to register, it's pretty straightforward, very, very straightforward, nothing too technical. As long as you can open an email, it's even less stressful than an email, opening an email. So we'll make that available. You have that in the slide. First of all, how do you set up ChatGPT? Search for ChatGPT in your browser. So open your preferred browser, Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, open up your browser and type in ChatGPT. Okay, when you do that, you'd see a couple of links pop up. When you have those links pop up just like this, you click on that. Okay, you can do it now or you can do it after the session. I would rather you do it after the session so that you listen to what I'm saying, understand, and then at your own convenience later this evening, you can go ahead and build your stuff on your own. When you're less stressed, you're not trying to catch up with what I'm saying and doing the same thing at the same time. Okay, the slides will be made available to you, to those who stay till the end of the session. And when you see the attendance form, please fill the form so that you also get the recording and the slides. Okay, so once you search for ChatGPT, this pops out. Click on the first link. Okay, once you click on the first link, the ChatGPT link, it takes you to this page, log in or sign up. If you don't have an account, then it would ask you to sign up. If you have an account, you can go ahead and log in. All right. So we are assuming about 30 something, 40 plus of you have not used ChatGPT before. So you'll be clicking on sign up. All right. So once you click on sign up, what happens? It takes you to the next step where you need to enter your email and enter your password. So enter your email, enter a password, and then you get an email notification to verify your email. So all you need to do is verify. Go to your email, you'd see the verification link. You click on that, it verifies your email. You click on log in, and then you log into ChatGPT. All right, I'm not going to take questions now. Okay, so if you have questions, you can either drop your question in the chat or just make a note of the question that you have, and I'll take questions towards the end of our session so that we manage time appropriately. So that's 5 steps how you open up a ChatGPT account. Search for ChatGPT, click on the very first link. It takes you to where you'd see sign up and log in. Okay. People can still unmute themselves. I'm just going to disable that so you cannot unmute yourself anymore. So we don't have distractions. All right. So I'm just going to disable that. How to make money using ChatGPT. Trust me, you'll make money using ChatGPT. But first of all, to leverage the power of ChatGPT, you must have the technical know-how. ChatGPT just makes things a lot faster and a lot easier. And I'll show you, you'd see that today. We have a data set. ChatGPT would analyze the data set for us, just like a data analyst or a data scientist would do, without writing any codes, without writing any calculations, nothing at all. I'm just going to tell ChatGPT to do this for us. Now, you have 2 versions of ChatGPT. You have the free version, which is ChatGPT 3.5. 3.5 is free. And for anything that comes free, you really don't have too much value. All right. So yes, ChatGPT, the free version is good. You can do stuff, but you can't do all the things I'll show you today. To do the amazing stuff, for ChatGPT to take over your job and do everything for you, and you just control what ChatGPT gives to you, you need ChatGPT 4.0, which is a paid version. All right. The paid version is about $24 per month, $20 really, but then you have VAT of $4, so $24 per month. Okay, so I'll be showing you the free version, what it looks like, the paid version. The paid version is ChatGPT on steroids times 100, times 1 million, because it does amazing stuff. And I'll be showing you just a snippet of what ChatGPT can do for you. And as a data analyst, data scientist, your work has never been any easier going forward. All right, let's look at the data set that we have to analyze, and then we'll move into ChatGPT. GPT. So let's move to the data sets. I'm just going to show you what the data looks like. And again, like I mentioned, I've made this available for you. You have this on my slide. I've kept the link to the data itself. You have the link on the slide as well. So as long as you click on this link over here, it takes you to the data set. So let's click on it. I'm going to click on the link and then you'd see what the data looks like. So once I click on the link, it opens up into something like this. All right, where you have the data. How do you download the data set? Straightforward. So when it opens like this, you don't need to bother yourself trying to do anything here because you really won't get anything done, anything meaningful. So you need to download it into your computer. How do you download? Straightforward, go to File. You go to File at the top. All right, you see File at the top left corner of my screen. Click on File. Click on Save As. And then click on Download a Copy. All right, 3 steps: File, Save As, download a copy, and you get the data downloaded into your computer. It's as straightforward as that. So once you click on the link on the slide, it opens up into this page. You go to File, all right, go to Save As, and then download a copy, and then you have the file downloaded into your computer. So let's go to the file. It's a HR dashboard data. So it's a data that contains features related to the people-related data in an organization, basically. So let's open it and see what it looks like. It's an Excel file, okay? And we are going to work with this. All right. So I want you to tell me, I'm just going to make this bolder so you can see my screen better. Okay, I'll make it bolder so you can see my screen better. Now, the scenario is the CEO of the organization wants to answer a few questions from the data that we have. The first column is the name. You have name for all the employees in this organization. You have their age. All right, you can see that. You have the gender, male or female. You have projects completed. How many projects have each employee completed? You have productivity in percentage. So for this employee that has 57%, it means the productivity is 57% based on the output of that particular employee. You have satisfaction rate. You have the feedback score. You have the department. You have position, analyst, manager, intern, team leads, junior developer, different positions within the organization. You have the joining dates, when the employees joined the organization, and then you have salary, the amount the employees get paid. So this is what the data looks like. You get to the office very early in the morning, excuse me, you check your email, and then you find an email from your CEO, and the CEO wants you to answer a few questions. And let's look at the questions the CEO wants you to answer. Based on the data I just showed you, 5 questions the CEO wants you to answer and present to her in the next 10 minutes. All right. So the first question is, what is the gender distribution? What is the gender distribution? Second question, how many employees are in each department? Third question, which position has the highest salary? Fourth question, is projects completed related to salary? All right, so we saw projects completed by employees. Is it related to salaries paid to employees? Is there a relationship between the salary and projects completed? For example, if I completed more projects, am I going to get paid more than somebody who completed lesser projects, and so on and so forth? And the fifth question is age related to salary? So the older I am, do I tend to get paid higher based on my age, and so on. So these are the 5 questions we need to answer. And we can do this in different ways. In Excel, in Power BI, using Python, using different tools. But today we're going to use ChatGPT to get this done for us. And again, for us at Analytics, what we do is to ensure we move with the trend of new technologies, new tools that come up within the tech space on how to make things easy, how to get things done faster, and how to improve and expand our horizon within the data space, most especially. So if you're a data analyst at Analytics or a data scientist, or you register for any of our programs within the data space, you will learn how to use ChatGPT to carry out analysis. All right. Now, these are the 5 questions that we need to answer. Okay. And like I mentioned, would simply give ChatGPT the file. Take this file, and then I want you to do the analysis for me. I'm just going to tell you the questions. You're going to do the analysis. You're going to create the charts, and you're going to give me the summary for my presentation. Tell me what to say and tell me what to present to my CEO. Right now, we assume that you would have registered to ChatGPT. You have your ChatGPT set up by now. So let's get into the part where ChatGPT does the work for us. So I'm just going to open a new tab, and then I'll log into ChatGPT. How do we get the Excel file? Temiloluwa, the Excel file is, I have the link in the slide. So once you receive the slide, all you have to do is click on the link, and then it takes you to the file. All right. Now I'm just going to type ChatGPT. And of course, because I already have mine set up, you'd see my ChatGPT comes up. It will not ask me for any, login detail because I already have it logged in. Remember, I talked about 2 versions of ChatGPT. 3.5, which is the free version. 3.5 is the free version. Okay. And it says our fastest model, great for most everyday tasks, available to free and plus users. And you have the GPT-4. GPT-4 is our most capable model, great for tasks that requires creativity and advanced reasoning, available exclusively to plus users. All right. Now, and of course, you still have some limitations with GPT-4 as well. And one of the limitations is you can only send 50 messages every 3 hours, only 50 prompts every 3 hours. So if you're on GPT 3.5 and you want to use GPT-4, all you have to do is, where you have at the down left corner over here, where you have your email, just like you can see mine at desert-analytics.org. If I click on this, you'd see my plan. And when you go to my plan, you can then subscribe to the paid version, which is GPT-4. And once you have that done, you are good to go. Okay, once you have that done, you are good to go. Now, GPT-4 has different plugins. You can use multiple plugins for GPT-4. For example, you have a plugin that can help you tailor your CV, come up with recommendations based on how you should, update your CV and so on and so forth. Some of the fantastic things we show to our participants that registers for our program. And this is one of the things that if you don't have a good CV, you really cannot get a good job out there. So we leverage tools, AI, different technologies to ensure that we put you in the very best position to get the jobs out there. Once you've subscribed to GPT-4, you want to then use the advanced data analysis. Okay, you can see this is selected. It could be on default, which would simply just be the same, pretty much what GPT 3.5 would give you. But the moment you select advanced data analysis, then you can do advanced stuff with GPT-4. Okay, you have plugins as well, like I mentioned. If I click on plugins, for example, you'd see some of the plugins I have here, the ATS Resume Copilot, Canva. There's a Canva plugin that can help you build web pages, build slides, just by using prompts, chat with Excel, Resume Copilot, Scholar AI. So there's so many plugins you can use if you are on the paid version. Okay, so now let's click on advanced data analysis, because that's where I want to be. Without advanced data analysis, you cannot upload any files to ChatGPT. So you need advanced data analysis. So the moment I select that, remember I've downloaded my data set already. And let's look at the data set that I downloaded. So if I go to my downloads, okay, if I go to my downloads, you'd see the data sets. This is the data I just downloaded a few minutes ago. I just downloaded this data a few minutes ago, and this is the data I'll be uploading to ChatGPT. All right. So let's go back to ChatGPT. Now, how do I upload? How do I upload my file? When you select advanced data analysis from your GPT-4, you'd see this plus sign where you have the message prompt. Okay, you'd see the plus sign. The plus sign says attach files. You can attach data as large as 250 megabytes. And data sets of the size of 250 megabytes is a whole lot of data. Okay, would contain maybe 5 million records or thereabout. So if I click on attach file, I can then select where I want to, select my file from. So I'll go to my downloads and I want to select my file from the download that I have. Okay, so I want to select that file I downloaded. I want to upload it into ChatGPT. So I select the file and then I click on open. Okay, and then you'd see the file loading. It has loaded. The moment the file loads, I'm just going to send. Okay, I'll send it as a message, just like I've typed in a message. I'll send the file to ChatGPT. So I click on send message, and then you can see it sends the file into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT would start its work for us. So the very first thing is asking, it looks like you've uploaded a file named HR dashboard data .xlsx, which is an Excel file. How can I assist you with this file? Remember when I said ChatGPT is my personal technical assistant, and he always wants to help, always positive to help solve problems. Now, I know what I want because the CEO has said, look, I want to answer this question, that question, this question. Can you help me answer those questions? So I'm simply going to type in those questions to ChatGPT, and it does everything for me, creates my dashboard, and I'll tell it to give me the summary of the presentation that I should communicate to my CEO. All right. So let's start by telling ChatGPT to just explain what the data looks like. Okay. Just give any explanation of the data that you'd like to give. All right. So look at the data, tell me what you think, and explain. So I'll just simply say, I want to understand the data. So that's the next prompt I'll send. So I'll just go to the chat and I'll type, I want to understand the data. So let's start from there. Let's understand each column. I showed you what it looked like. You have the names, you have the gender, you have the age, you have projects completed, productivity score, satisfaction score. You had all those stuff in there, right? I want to understand the data and I send it to ChatGPT. And what do I get? So certainly, let's start by loading the data from Excel file to see the structure and content. I will load the data and provide an overview. So let's see what ChatGPT gives to us. And I'm simply going to try to maximize this so we can see it clearly. All right. So let's maximize a bit so you can see my screen better. Now you can see it says the data set seems to be related to HR data for employees. And here is an overview of the columns. All right. Name, the name of the employee, age of employee, gender of employee, project completed, number of projects the employees have completed, productivity, percentage indicating the productivity of the employee, satisfaction rates. So now we haven't told ChatGPT what those colons are, but because it is a database, it is a large language model it has been trained with numerous amount of data. So it can tell what those features represent, even without telling it what it is. Okay. And you can see how amazing it is. You can see how amazing it is. Absolutely the bomb. Like Ugochukwu said, bomb. It is absolute. You've not seen anything yet. When I say you've not seen anything yet, you really haven't seen anything yet. Okay. So this is what the data looks like. Well, looks good. Pretty much understandable from what we had seen earlier. Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to ask ChatGPT is to go back to the question the CEO has asked. And let's look at the question one more time. So we're going to shuffle between the questions on the slide and then ChatGPT. So let's shuffle a bit. Now, the CEO has asked question 1. What is the gender distribution? Okay, so we have male and female employees. So question 1, what is the gender distribution? Question 2, how many employees are in each department? Okay, what is the gender distribution and how many employees are in each department? 1 and 2. So let's go and answer 1 and 2. Let's go to answer questions 1 and questions 2. So let's just ask. Now, ChatGPT has our data set. We don't need to worry anymore. It can do all the work for us. So let's ask the first question. What is the gender distribution? Now, remember, it has also, after giving you the description of each column, it's asking that, would you like a specific analysis or any questions related to these data? Positive always wants to solve a problem. Okay, so what is the gender distribution? I want to ask this question. So I type it in there and then I hit enter. And what do I get? So it's going to do all the workings and then it will give me the results. The gender distribution in this data set is even, with 100 male employees and 100 female employees. Would you like to explore anything else about the data? It's asking us the question. So it has looked at the data that we've provided, looked at the gender column, looked at the gender distribution and said, we have 100 male and 100 female employees. That's the gender distribution. Now, which is pretty much good. And I know it is correct because I've worked with this data before. So it's 100% correct. But I want to see it in a pictorial form. I want to visualize. Remember, I have a presentation. I'd have to show this to my CEO. I want her to see what I've done. So I need to visualize. So I'm going to tell ChatGPT, fantastic work. But I want you to do what? Visualize the gender distribution for me. Don't just tell me I have 100 male and 100 female. Visualize it for me. So I'll type in there, visualize the gender distribution for me. How amazing is this? Just tell it what to do and it does it for you. Okay, so I'm not even stressing myself calculating anything, doing anything, no pivot tables. I'm not writing any Python codes, nothing. Visualize the gender distribution for me, and then I hit enter. And let's see if it can do this for us, visualize it for us. Let's see. And we wait. And let's see the feedback. Here's the visualization. All right, so we can see the chart, male, female. We can see the y-axis, and you can see from 0 to 100, you have 100 male, you have 100 female. And it's telling us, here is the visualization of the gender distribution. We have 100 male employees, 100 female employees represented by the pink bar. The distribution is perfectly even. Now, what if I don't want the column chart? I don't want a chart like this. I want a pie chart or a donut chart. Can ChatGPT change the chart for me? So let's try and see. This is still question 1. So I'll say, thank you. I want to be polite a bit as well. Thank you. can you change the visual to a donuts chart? Thank you. Can you change the visual to a donut chart? And then I hit enter, and let's see if it can do this for us. So I don't want a column chart. I want a donut chart to represent the gender distribution. And of course, rather than the column chart, we can see that we now have what? We have the donut chart for our gender distribution. And it's telling us, you can see 50%, 50%, and it's telling us that the blue section represents the male employees. The pink section represents the female employees. Both gender have an equal distribution of 50% each. Would you like any further analysis or visualizations? Would you like any further analysis or visualizations? Okay. Now, of course, we need to answer the second question. And what is the second question? The second question is the number of employees in each department. So question 1 answered. Question 2, how many employees are in each department? How many employees are in each department? And I hit enter, and let's see what it gives us as well. So you can see sales, 47 employees, marketing, 42, finance, 41, IT, 38, HR, 32. Would you like a visualization for this or any other specific analysis? I had the first visualization, so it wants to know if I want further visualizations, and I would say yes. I want a visual. I want you to visualize. I want you to visualize let's just use that. Nothing too complex. And let's wait for it to visualize the analysis for us. And of course, if we don't want that particular type of visual, we can always change it. But then, of course, you can see the distribution. It's giving us sales, marketing, finance, IT, and HR. Okay, and you can see the numbers. You can see that sales represents, and it's giving us sort of an explanation to what it's done. Sales has the highest number of employees, followed closely by marketing and finance. IT and HR have slightly few employees in comparison. Would you like to further explore the data set or any aspect of it? Absolutely. We need to answer questions 3, 4, and 5. So let's go back to the slide and let's see if we can answer these questions. We've answered 1 and 2, would answer 3, 4, 5, and then we'll tell it to build a dashboard for us and give us a summary of what we should present to the CEO. So 1 is done, 2 is done. Now, question 3, which position has the highest salary? Which position has the highest salary? So you have different positions from team leads to sales analysts to intern and so on. So which position has the highest salary? I want to know, is it the manager? Is it the team lead? Is it the junior developer, senior developer? I want to answer that question, all right? So that's question number 3. So let's go to question number 3 and let's ask the question, which position has the highest salary? Okay, which position has the highest salary? And then I hit enter. So let's wait. And when I'm done, I'll show you what has driven all of these visualizations that you can see and analysis. Okay, so the position with the highest average salary is manager, with an average salary of approximately $110,091. Would you like to delve deeper or analyze another aspect of the data set? Okay, so what I'll simply say is visualize the salary for the different positions. Visualize the salary. So it's told me that the manager has the highest average salary of 110,000, but I want you to visualize the salary of the different positions. So let's hit enter and wait for it to visualize the salary for us. And when you are typing all of these texts, you always remember that you have, just about 50 prompts every 3 hours. Okay, so now it's visualized. All right, now it's visualized. But remember, we don't have the data labels. So manager, we can't really tell what's the exact salary. So we can text again, make modifications to the visuals. Can you add data labels to each column? Can you add data labels to each column? And let's wait and see if it does add the data labels for us. Okay, so that's question 3 over there, almost done. And again, you see all these workings and it says finished working. I'll show you what you have in there, the engine driving all of this. So now we can see the figures. Not very clear, but let me maximize a bit so you can see. All right. So you can see the manager salary, 110,000. The next team lead, 100,000, and senior developer, $86,000. All right. So we can see that. That's question number 3. So let's go to question number 4. I'm just going to read it here. I'm not going to switch back to the slide. Question number 4 is projects completed related to salary. Remember, you have projects completed for each employee, and then you have the salary, corresponding salary. So is there any relationship? If I complete more projects, do I get more salary? Or does it really matter? We want to find out. So I'm going to ask the question to ChatGPT. Is projects completed related to salary? Is project completed related to salary? Hit enter and let's see what it gives us. Okay, so again, it's telling us that to determine if there's a relationship between the number of projects completed and salary, we can calculate the correlation coefficient between these two variables. This is absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Okay. And again, like I said, there is no better time to be a data analyst or be a data scientist than now. No better time to be a data analyst or a data scientist. Now, this is the visual it's created for us. And it's told us that, look, we have relationship between projects completed and salary. Correlation is 0.87. Now, let me tell you something very quickly. When you have correlation coefficients, that is from 0 to, let's put it this way, your correlation coefficient is from -1 to 0. Okay, if you have, let's go to the slide and make this a lot easier. Okay, let's go to the slide, make it a lot easier for you so that you understand clearly what we are seeing. And this is why the knowledge of data science or data analytics is important to understand what ChatGPT is giving to you. If you have correlation coefficient, which is also known as the Pearson coefficient of 0 to 0.49, it means you have a weak correlation. Okay, it means there is really no relationship between the two variables. It's weak. If you have 0.5 to around 0.69, it is moderate. So there is considerable, it is moderate, considerable relationship, but the relationship is not strong. So it's like you trying to, toast a lady and the lady is telling you, well, I'll give it a thought. I'm not sure. The next time you try to call her, she picks up. Sometimes she tells you, oh, I'm busy. Can you call me later? I really don't want to talk now. Compared to a lady you call and she's the one calling you and very eager to want to listen to you, texting you every day. You guys are always chatting on WhatsApp, sending pictures and so on and so forth. So when you have a strong correlation, that situation where you guys are in sync is where you have from 0.7 and above. So anything from 0.7 to 1, this is a strong correlation, which means strong relationship. between the two variables. What this simply tells us, based on what we've seen on ChatGPT, where we have, so let's look at it carefully. 0 to 0.49 is weak. You don't really have good correlation in there, no relationship. It's a weak relationship. 0.5 to 0.69 is moderate. And 0.7 and above to 1 is what? Strong. And let's go back to ChatGPT. And what did it give us? It gave us a correlation coefficient of 0.87. And you can see the dots tends upwards. Okay? Now, when you have 0.87, based on what I just showed you, 0 to 0.49 is weak. 0.5 to 0.69 is moderate. 0.7 to 1 is strong. Is this a strong relationship or a weak relationship? Strong or weak? What do you think? Type into the chat. Let's see. Strong, absolutely. 0.87 is what? Strong. And we can also see that it is tending upwards. You can see the points tending upwards. What it simply means is that as the number of projects completed increases, salary tends to increase. As the number of projects increases, salary tends to increase. So there is a strong positive correlation. As one increases, the other one also increases. That is a strong positive correlation. Okay, strong positive correlation. Now, this is what ChatGPT has given us. So this is exciting for us to show to the CEO, all right? The relationship, is there a relationship? Absolutely. And the beauty is that you also get good summary, but we'll still get a more tidy, holistic summary at the end of the day. So I think this is question 4. So the last question, which is age also related to salary? We've seen clearly with this correlation coefficient of 0.87, and you can see that if you put a trend line here, if you put a linear trend line, you'd see that it's the points would be close to the line, meaning that it's a strong positive correlation. So it means there's a relationship, a strong one for that matter. So let's go to the last question for today, and let's ask the question, is age related to salary? Is age related to salary? Somebody is asking, is this allowed in the corporate environment? It is allowed. Okay, it's allowed. However, because of data privacy issues, there are creative ways of getting your solutions without uploading company data. All right, you don't want to upload sensitive company data to models like this. You have some third-party applications. You don't know how the data is shared. Most of us don't read the data privacy, the terms and conditions, and so on and so forth. So every organization, you have sensitive data. You don't want to upload it directly into models like this. But how do you upload? How do you get solutions? I'll tell you how to do that, okay? So is age related to salary? That's the last question, and I hit enter. And let's see what it gives to us. All right. So of course, it also needs to calculate the correlation coefficients, definitely. And then it also does the scatter plot, because the scatter plot would show how the line is tending. And this is the correlation coefficient is 0.83, not up to 0.87. But we've seen that anything from 0.7 and above is strong. So this means that there is also a strong positive relationship between age and salary. So as somebody tends to get older, salary tends to increase. That's the meaning. So as age increases, salary also tends to increase. But always remember, and although this is not a correlation, we're not teaching correlation in this class, but there is a narrative around correlation versus causation. So because two variables are closely related does not mean that one causes the other. As somebody gets old, from what we can see here, the older you get, the higher your salary tends to increase. Does not mean that salary increases with age. As you get older, your salary would increase. That's not the meaning. So correlation is different from causation, okay? So it only measures the relationship between the two variables. There are other things that could be related to salary increasing and not just age. It could be experience, it could be expertise, it could be, so many things, promotions within the organization, and so on and so forth. All right. So it's good for us to also understand this. But we've answered all the questions. And of course, you can see ChatGPT has told us that the correlation coefficient between age and salary is approximately 0.83. This indicates a strong positive linear relationship between age and salary of employees. Now, something interesting. This suggests that older employees or those with more experience tend to have higher salaries. Again, just like what I mentioned just a few minutes ago, it is important to remember that correlation does not imply causation, and other factors might be influencing the salary, just like I mentioned, because it's always, people mix it up a whole lot, because two variables are closely related does not mean that one causes the other and the other causes one. So you have so many other factors that could play within that space. All right. So we've answered all our questions. We've answered all the questions. The last thing is to put it in a dashboard. And what's a dashboard? A dashboard is simply taking different charts or taking different visuals and putting it in a single page or in a single representation where you have all the visuals in one place rather than having them scattered around. All right. So I'm going to type in here that I want to present the findings. I want to present the findings using a dashboard. Can you create a visually appealing dashboard? Can you create a visually appealing dashboard for me? All right, so let's break the prompt into two. It's going to create a dashboard for us, and then we'll ask the summary of what we want to present. Let's take it one step at a time. So let's hit enter and let's see what it does for us. Right, so again, you can see it's giving us all the things it's going to create. Gender distribution using the donut chart, distribution of employees across departments using the bar chart, average salary by position using the bar chart, relationship between projects, scatter plot, relationship between age and salary, scatter plot. So you can see working. This working, I'll come back to show you what is inside. There is something inside, and I'll show you what is inside for the data science guys and how this also plays into you modifying all the codes. And it also goes back to the gentleman who asked the question, is this allowed in the corporate work environment? Okay, so can you see the dashboard it created for us? I'm just going to maximize this a little bit so you can see a little bit better. Okay, so you can see my screen better. You can see, yeah. So you can see the gender distribution at the top over here. You can see the employee across departments, and then you have the average salary by position at the middle. And at the bottom, you have the projects completed versus salary, and you have the age versus salary. Created it for us, put it together in a single representation, pictorial format, charts, different charts brought in together in a single space to give us a dashboard. And it has also given us a summary. I was going to ask you to summarize this for us, but you can see the summary already. Okay. But then again, I want something more compelling. All right. So I would say summarize the insights for me. Summarize the insights for my presentation. summarize the insights for my presentation, or summarize the insights from the dashboard for my presentation. So now let's assume you've done all of this, okay? You've done all of this. We're just simply going to, we can copy. Also, because I said insight, is giving me the specific insights from what I have. So let's see what it's giving to us. So all the 5 different questions we asked, from the gender to department distribution to salary by position to projects completed versus salary to age versus salary. Let's read it a little. Let's read it out and see what we have. First of all, it's saying that the company has an even distribution of male and female employees, with both genders equally represented at 50% each. Clearly, we can see that from the visual, which we'll be presenting eventually. All right. Question 2, sales is the largest department with 47 employees, closely followed by marketing with 42, finance with 41, IT with 38, and HR with 32. Salary by position, employees with the title manager have the highest average salary in the company, earning approximately $110,000 on the average. The salaries vary very significantly across different positions, with some roles earning substantially less on the average. Projects completed versus salary. There is a strong positive correlation of approximately 0.87 between the number of projects completed and salary. This suggests that employees who complete more projects tend to earn higher salaries. However, correlation doesn't necessarily imply causation, and other factors might also play a role. It's always a caveat. Age versus salary, a strong positive correlation of 0.83 exists between age and salary. This indicates that in general, older employees or those with more years in the company tend to have higher salaries. Again, while there's a relationship, it doesn't necessarily mean age directly causes higher salaries. For your presentation, you might want to emphasize the importance of understanding these relationships, especially when making decisions related to HR, compensation, and promotions. It's also crucial to note that while correlation provides insight into relationships between variables, they don't determine cause and effect. Other qualitative and quantitative factors might influence these relationships. Again, the positivity. Would you like any other information or assistance for your presentation? Thank you. You have been fantastic. All right, and we're going to end it here today. But like I said, I'll show you those places where you saw walking. I'll show you what you have in there. Now, imagine as a data analyst, all you have to do is come here. You can get your analysis done, you get the solutions that you need, and then you get it right off the way. You don't have to, you have things to make work a lot easier for you. And that's the beauty of the new trends, the new technologies that you have today. For us at Analytics, we've had an AI month of September, looking at different aspects of ChatGPT, the free version, the paid version. We've looked at how to use tools like Analyze data to solve problems like this in Excel, okay? Where you type in stuff, Excel creates your pivot charts, your pivot tables, without you writing a single function or inserting anything. And these are, if you go to all the master classes we've had, you'd see that these are the different AI-driven features and solutions that are available in the different analytic tools that we have today. I'm a data scientist. I work for, I'm in Nigeria. Let's take, for example, I'm in Nigeria. I work for, which company now? Let's assume I work for, let's see. I don't want to call my former company. So let's assume I work for one of the banks, okay? And I need to come up with some analysis, but I don't want to upload the bank's data because, of course, it is sensitive and there are privacy issues and so on and so forth. So what do? Very simple. I want to have the ability. I just want to have the solution. That's all. I want to have my solution. So for every single question we asked ChatGPT, and I'm just scrolling up so I'll show you. For every single question we asked ChatGPT, there was a corresponding code written to come up with a solution. So all I'll do is I'll take my company's data and I would create a dummy of that data, a dummy data, similar headers, fictitious data, and then I'll give it to ChatGPT, right? Once ChatGPT uses that dummy to give me results, what happens? I take the codes and I can come up with my own solution on the real data set. So where are the codes? Once ChatGPT comes up with the codes and the solutions, how do I get the codes? Simple. Wherever you see working and then finished working, I want you to show me the workings, just like you write exams and they say, ensure that you show your workings in your answer sheets. If I click on this, you'd see all the codes written. All the codes written. I can copy the code, put it on my own IDE. Let's assume I'm using Jupyter Notebook or Google Colab. I can use these same codes to generate the same results on a different data set entirely. I can modify the codes. If I don't want the blue color for male, you can see blue over here. I can change it to a different color. If I don't want pink, I can change it to a different color. So I can copy the codes and I can modify. So let's move down again. Similar to what you have here, you can see the codes that generated this. And of course, you want to have the ability to modify the code. That's where your expertise as a data scientist comes out. All right. So again, we're just going to stop here for the practical bits. We've seen how we asked, questions. We've seen ChatGPT come up with different answers. We built a dashboard at the end, and then it gave us a final summary to show us the key insights based on the questions we asked ChatGPT to provide. It is important that you also understand that you don't want to take everything hook, line, and sinker because, and this is the danger for people who don't have the technical expertise. They don't know what correlation is. They don't know what correlation versus causation is. They don't know what the correlation coefficient means. They don't know what a positive, strong positive correlation, a strong negative correlation. They don't know what it means. So without that knowledge, it's difficult to deduce and extract valuable insights from the data you're trying to analyze. ChatGPT in that regard becomes useless to you or will do very little to help your situation. So the technical expertise, the technical knowledge is absolutely important for you to get very good work done with ChatGPT. If you've learned something today, just type in a yes. Type in a yes into the chat. If you've learned something new, you've learned something new today, just type in a yes into the chat. Fantastic. Brilliant, brilliant. There's always something new to learn. We've had so many sessions, like I said. So one of the things you want to do after we are done, we have 1 hour to run through the slides. Difference between data analytics and data science. What are the tools you need to know as a data analyst and as a data scientist? I would walk you through all of that. How do you start? Why should you learn with analytics? And so on and so forth. We're going to run through all of that before we wrap up our session for today. But one of the things you want to do when we are done this evening is follow us across all our platforms on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. So you see all the amazing stuff people are creating and we are also doing. We've had sessions using the free version of ChatGPT to do amazing stuff. All right. We've used other AI tools like Bard by Google to do amazing stuff. So you want to see all those things we've done and how to use even the free version to do similar type of analysis, not as amazing as this, obviously, but also leveraging the power of the free version of ChatGPT 3.5 to do amazing work. Okay. Now, which of these career paths are you interested in? I want you to type it into the chat. which of the different career paths are you interested in? Somebody's asking, can we ask ChatGPT to give us possible advice we can give the management? Absolutely, of course you can. Abdulhamid, what you've seen today is a tip of the iceberg of what you can do. Trust me, you can create machine learning models, you can create deep learning models. It's amazing what you can do with tools like this, okay? Just think about it, and the answer is yes, it's possible. So which of these two career paths are you interested in? Data analytics, data science. Just type into the chat, let's see. Data analytics, data science, data analytics, data science, business analysis. Fantastic. Now, one of the questions I always get is, what is the difference between the both career paths, the difference between data analytics and data science? People struggle to answer this, but I'll answer it for you very quickly using 3 criteria. All right, 3 major criteria. The first criteria is the scope of the analytics, the type of the data you work with, and then the technology involved. All right. As a data analyst, your focus is on 2 key areas of the data analytics phases. The first one is descriptive analytics, and the second is diagnostic analytics. Descriptive and diagnostic. So descriptive means what happened. What happened? How many employees do we have? How much did we make? That is what? Descriptive. What happened? What is the gender distribution? So when you ask questions like that, you are simply asking, what is in the data? Can you describe the data for me? How many employees? How many people are in a department? How much did we make in Q1 2023? Or how much have we made from Q1 to Q3 2023? That is answering the question, what happened? So let's assume we ask, how much did we make from Q1 to Q3 2023? Q1 looks like this, Q2 looks like this, and Q3 looks like this. This is Q1, this is Q2, and this is Q3. So I've created a chart, just like the charts ChatGPT created for us. Now, Q1 looks a little bit average, Q2 looks very high, and Q3 looks very little. Okay, so this is what happened. This is descriptive analytics, what happened. Diagnostic, which means, why did it happen? Why did we have an increase in Q2? And why did we have a sharp decline in Q3? When you go deeper to find out why something happened, you are moving into diagnostic analytics. And this is the role of the data analyst. The data analyst focuses on descriptive, what happened, and that's where you see the creation of dashboards, you see different reports. This is what happened from Q1, budget versus actual. This is where we fell short. We fell short because the manager resigned. We did not have adequate resources to replace. We had an increase in Q2 because we ran a promotion. We had discounts, so more people purchased our items. So you're answering the question, why it happened, what happened, and why it happened. And that is descriptive and diagnostic analytics. And that is the role of the data analyst in terms of scope. On the other hand, the data scientist takes it a step further. The data scientist would know descriptive, what happened. The data scientist would also understand why it happened and take it a step further to understand what is likely going to happen. Predictive, predict into the future, forecast into the future. So the data scientist is like your, what do they call them? Your babalawo that you see in the Nigerian movies, or your, I can't remember the name, these people that take the crystal ball, they look into the crystal ball, your psychics, I don't know what they call them now, the name has skipped, I can't remember. They look into the crystal ball and then they see into the future, the oracle. Thank you, Abaja. the oracle or the psychic, the soothsayer, that's your data scientist. They can tell what would happen in the future. They can see into the future. And why is that important to any company? It's important because you plan. If you made 1 billion in Q1, you made 5 billion in Q2, and you made 3 billion in Q3, what are we likely going to make in Q4? If we are likely going to make X amount of money, how much resources do we need to put into Q4 to generate a particular amount? So you can see into the future of what is likely going to happen, and then you can plan towards it. And that's the beauty of data science. So data scientists are very vast in forecasting, in machine learning, and machine learning forecasting is also hinged on statistics. And that's the importance of statistics when it comes to data science. So you can see the graduation in terms of the scope of the data analyst and the data scientist. The data scientist takes it a step further to not just tell you what happened, why it happened, but what will happen in the future. All right, based on historical data. Now, when you look at the type of data, a data analyst works with structured data. What is structured data? Structured data is simply data that can fit into rows and columns. So you saw the data I showed you at the beginning, the one we gave to ChatGPT. You have columns. The name is in one column, age, another column, gender, another column, productivity score, another column. And then you have the row. For each name, you have the gender and so on. So you have that structure in a tabular format, so to speak. That is called structured data, data that can be fitted into rows and columns. As a data analyst, that's typically what you work with. As a data scientist, on the other hand, you work with both structured and unstructured data. So you'd work with data that looks like what we've done today, what we've worked with. And you'd also work with data that are pictures. So if you take a picture of me, can you put that picture into rows and columns? The answer is no. If I download Burna Boy's new song, can I take that audio and put it into rows and columns? The answer is no. But that is data. So how do you analyze audio? How do you analyze pictures? How do you analyze videos? That is unstructured data, and that is where the data scientist also takes it a step further to learn how to use the different tools that can take unstructured data and put it into a structured form, that can take a picture that is unstructured and convert it to a structured data to data. Then in terms of technology, similar technologies, but there are differences when it also comes to the data scientists. Mohammed, please confirm that I am audible and you can still hear me and see me clearly. I just saw something that just confirm you can see me. Joan, if you can also hear me clearly, please just type it into the chat. Yes, we can. All right, great, fantastic. So as a data analyst, you first of all, of course, you learn problem solving, number one. You learn Excel, number two. You learn Power BI. You learn Tableau. You learn SQL. You learn Microsoft Fabric. And then you learn ChatGPT. We've seen a little bit of ChatGPT this evening. So you learn all these tools, Excel for analytics, Power BI, Tableau for data visualization and business intelligence. You learn SQL, structured query language, to enable you interact with databases, how to get data from databases, create tables, and so on and so forth. You'd also learn Microsoft Fabric, which is also a new technology from Microsoft. And remember that I said we always move with the trend when there is any new technology, and we know that this technology would give you an edge over the competition, help you stand out. So it is not a want. When if you don't decide if you want it or not, it is a need. You have to know it so that you set yourself apart from the competition out there. And then you learn how to use tools like ChatGPT to make your life easier, to make your work more efficient and also effective as well. On the other hand, as a data scientist, you take it a step further. You learn what? Statistics. Because, like I mentioned, to know the future, based on what happened in the past, to know the future, what will happen in the future, you need to understand statistics. Okay, you learn statistics, you learn Excel, but not just Excel this time around. You learn Excel for predictive analytics, to predict, to forecast. You'd also learn SQL to interact with databases. You learn Tableau for predictive analytics and forecasting. You'd learn Microsoft Fabric. You'd learn Python. Python is a language you'd use to build your machine learning models, to carry out your exploratory data analysis, to forecast and do all the amazing stuff, and computer vision as well. Okay, so Python is a language of the data scientist in building your models that can tell you what would happen based on what has happened in the past on historical data. You'd learn pandas. Of course, pandas is one of the libraries you would work with using Python to put your data into structures and analyze that data eventually. You'd also learn, of course, you'd use Anaconda. Anaconda is the platform that would have your IDE for you to write your Python codes and all the things, all the tools you'd need for your Python environment to create amazing stuff. And of course, we can't talk about all the tools you'd use as a data scientist without mentioning ChatGPT for data science. You've seen what we've done today. And for a data scientist, for a data analyst, ChatGPT cannot be ignored in the scheme of things. So these are the major differences. So when somebody asks you tomorrow or some other time, data analytics, data science, which one, are they the same? Are they different? You can tell them, no, they're not the same. A data analyst does descriptive and diagnostic analytics. A data scientist does descriptive, diagnostic, and predictive analytics. A data analyst works with structured data. A data scientist works with both structured and unstructured. And then you can also talk about the technologies. All right. So for those who will be joining the data analytics program, we've talked about the skills and the tools that you need to learn, from problem solving to Excel to Power BI to SQL to Tableau, data storytelling, how to tell a story from the data that you have, so that those that need to take decisions can take the appropriate decision. ChatGPT for analytics and Microsoft Fabric for data analytics. You'd learn all these tools. And how long does it take you to learn with us? You'd first of all learn in a project-based environment with some of the best data professionals in the industry. And what is a project-based class? A project-based class is where you're not learning the way you are used to learning by watching different videos on YouTube and Udemy and so on. No, you learn by doing, working on real life projects. Every day you have a class, you work on a project, you solve a problem. Organizations don't want people that can build dashboards, that can create fancy charts. No, organization wants people that can solve their problems for them. So we simulate those type of problems based on our vast years of experience, diverse years of experience across different sectors. We create case studies, you work on those case studies, solve the problems, and that is what gives you that experiential learning approach. So when you get into an interview and they ask you, tell me about a time you solved a problem using data, for example, you'd speak about the projects you've worked on. All right, let's take today's case as, a point of contact. I worked on a HR related data when I worked as a consultant with Analytics. Of course, whenever you join our program, you are a consultant. You are not a learner. You're not going to tell anybody you are learning this for the first time. You are a consultant. I worked on this for a client, one of the largest companies within the European market. And what we did, we found out that within the HR related data, we're able to deduce that more projects were completed when we increased salaries. So we created an incentive. So you talk about all these things that you've done. So you're not just speaking from a point of I've watched something. You're speaking from the point of I've done it, and this is my proof, because you also have proof of work. And what is your proof of work? Your proof of work is your what? Portfolio. So you create a portfolio that warehouses all the projects you've worked on. The link to your portfolio would be on your CV. And once you're done, you send your CV in for an application, you're called in for an interview. The recruiters would click on that link to see the quality of the projects you've worked on. And that's what gives you the edge over anybody out there. So when I started by saying that a lot of people don't get jobs, this is number one reason. There is no proof of work. There is nothing to show that you've done this before. You don't have projects to show that you can clean data. You don't have projects to show that you can build a machine learning model. You don't have projects to show that you can apply advanced functions in Excel. And that's what your portfolio does for you. So for 4 months, you're going to learn in a project-based environment, 3 months project-based classes, and 1 month internship. So once you are done learning, the internship is where you work with other data professionals, the data engineer, the data scientist, the business analyst, and you solve a problem together, collaborating as a team to solving that problem. So this simulates the real life environment so that you hit the ground running on day one when you get a job as a data analyst. And I'll showcase so many people that have started, they've gotten jobs within the space. And like I mentioned, over 1,000 people between the year 2020 till date, we've been able to help them get their first jobs within the tech space. And of course, in terms of salary, the salary for a data analyst is also fantastic. One of the reasons I decided to get into data analytics about 10 years ago was because of the money. There's money to be made. I can control how I work. I can work hybrid, go to the office some days, and I work remotely, 100% remote, working for some of the biggest organizations across the globe. Average salary in the UK is about £40,000 for the data analyst. In Canada is about 64,000 Canadian dollars. And in the US is about 72,000 US dollars. And how are your classes structured? So your classes are structured in a way that you have 2 sessions on Saturday to entertain and also consider people in different time zones. So now you have a class that starts 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday. If you are in Nigeria, you are in the UK, you are somewhere around Europe, you have similar time zones. Your class starts 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Now we have a second class again that same Saturday in the evening from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. For those, this favors those in Canada, in the US, and across other regions that have very different time zones. So 4 p.m. Eastern time, for example, or Toronto, Canada time is around 11 a.m. in the morning. So you can still join a class at very fantastic hours, just like your counterparts in the UK, and you don't have to join classes at odd hours. And that's the beauty, one of the beauties of learning with us at 10 Analytics. So we have 2 classes, okay? 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. or 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. So somebody in the UK would want to join 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Or let's take, for example, I'm in the UK, but I have to do something in the morning. I can be in the evening class at 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. So your live classes on Saturdays are designed for you to work on projects. Like I mentioned, you work on projects. You have a trainer like myself in front of you, showing you what to do, telling you how to solve this problem. If you encounter an error, you have something you're trying to do, you're not getting the right result, you have the opportunity to share your screen, and then your facilitator would help you address it. So real-time feedback, and this would make your transitioning journey a lot faster compared to me that took over 2 years. to transition about 10 years ago because I did not have the right type of support. And that's one of the reasons we came up with Analytics, to help Africans and people of the Black community to also make that transition. But this time around, a lot more seamless because you have the right support, you have a structured learning approach to help you do that. On Sundays, you don't have a live class. You have a self-paced watch me do it video. So you have videos that you get to watch on Sunday. So you're not joining a live class where you have a trainer. You would watch those videos, understand certain concepts, and then on the following Saturday, you get to work on a project. What this does for you is it gives you the opportunity to catch up. For some people, they say that, oh, I'm not a fast learner. Oh, I'm new to this. With this flexible approach, blended approach, it makes it easier for you to catch up. All right. So you didn't get something on Saturday. You can go on Sunday, take your time, go through that thing again, try to get it done. But if you can't still get it, you then have a support system that helps you address those problems. So on Sunday, you don't have live classes. You have a self-paced class at your own convenience. At any time, you get to watch your videos on Sundays. So we move to the data science. Data science, we talked about this. You start with statistics, which is the fundamental. Okay. And for some people asking, oh, I don't like numbers. Oh, statistics, is it not difficult? Is it not, how easy would it be for me? And I tell people, look, the way you've learned in high school, you've learned concepts that you don't know the application. We all learned that way. You learn the mean, the median, the mode, the measure of central tendency, but it made no sense to you because what do I do with the mean? What do I do with the mode? Or what do I do with the median? What does it mean in the real life? But in the real world, to start analyzing your data in terms of looking at what should be where, why this shouldn't be here, you can use the mean, median, and mode to address something as easy as outliers in your data set. So you learn how to apply all of these concepts. And that's what makes it easier to learn, and it sticks because you are practicing applying what you are doing. So, and that's the beauty of the data science program. So you start with statistics because all your forecasting, your predictive analytics, your machine learning models that you build are all hinged on statistics. And then you learn Excel, but not just Excel, you learn Excel for predictive analytics. You learn how to use techniques like the exponential smoothing for forecasting, moving average technique to predict. You learn how to use the naive approach to predict. You learn linear regression to also predict, create a linear regression model to predict what would happen in the future. Absolutely important for everybody who is in the data ecosystem. You can't run away from it because you have to interact with databases. Organizations would have their data in a database. So how do you get the data? How do you connect to the data to do your analysis? SQL is absolutely important. Then you learn Python programming for your EDA, exploratory data analysis. Python is the language you'd use to carry out your analysis, your EDA, how to explore the data, do your descriptive analytics, to create your visualizations and all those things. You do that using Python. And then you'd also build machine learning models, both supervised and unsupervised machine learning models. And you build a computer vision program. And I'll show you what our participants built, hand detection programs using Python, and also pose detection. All right, so you can see me on the screen, and I'll give you an example of a computer vision, program. You can see me on the screen. You can see my body, but you can't see anything behind me. But I have stuff behind me. For example, I have a chair behind me. I have a shelf behind me, but you can't see it. Why? Because Zoom has deployed a model that would only recognize the human being in front of the camera. So if there are other objects, you would not see the object, you just see my banner, and then you see the person in front of the screen. You'd see the similar type of projects that our participants built using OpenCV, MediaPipe in Python to come up with those projects. And of course, how do you learn in the data science program? For 4 months as well. 3 months project-based classes and 1 month internship. And I can't overemphasize the importance of the internship. You'd work with a data engineer. The data engineer will be responsible for scraping data from different sources, creating data pipelines, and would make the data available in a data warehouse. The data analyst, the data scientist will then go into that data warehouse, get the data for the analysis, building of the models, and so on and so forth. So this creates an environment just like you would encounter when you get into the real world of work. On the average, in the UK, as a data scientist, you earn about £50,000. In Canada, about 94,000 Canadian dollars. And in the US, 6 figures, 121,000 US dollars. And what's the structure of the class? Similar to the data analyst, where on Saturday, you have your live classes, and then on Sunday, you have a self-paced watch me do it video to watch. So on Saturday, you have somebody in front of you, your facilitator, who would walk you through different projects and concepts. And you also have two classes, separated for those in different regions, depending on the class you'd like to join. If you'd like to join the evening class, for example, that's fine. I'm in Canada. I can't join an 11 a.m. class West African time. 11 a.m. in Canada, 11 a.m. West Africa in Canada would be around 5 a.m., around 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning, which is too early. So you can't join that class. We can't put that type of, stress on you. So we have another class to fit your own schedule, which starts at 4 p.m., which would be around 11 a.m. in Canada or in the US Eastern time. And you can join that class to you learn the same thing people in the UK, people in Nigeria, people in different countries across Europe. You'll be learning the same thing that they've learned as well. The same trainer, the same facilitator would work with you on Saturdays. And on Sundays, you have your self-paced watch me do it video. I'll show you what the platform looks like, what the projects look like, and all the things you'll be learning, the watch me do it videos, what they look like as well. One of the things after you've learned data analytics and data science, one of the reasons why people don't also get jobs is because they focus on applying to jobs that are very narrow focused, okay? They have a very narrow focus when it comes to applying to jobs, So when you have situations where somebody has learned data analytics and the only role they are searching for is data analyst role, and that's very wrong. There are so many other roles you can take. There are so many nomenclature you'd see around the data ecosystem that you can apply to as a data analyst, supply chain analyst, marketing analyst, sales analyst, business intelligence analyst, product analyst, logistic analyst, operations analyst, and there are so many of them. Database analysts, SQL experts, Excel experts. There are so many different roles within the data ecosystem. So how do you start to find those roles? These are some of the things we'll put you through on how to search for jobs when it's time for you to apply. Because if you narrow down your focus, you have just a few jobs to apply to, and that reduces the chances of you getting a job. All right. So these are some of the things we'll show to you during the program, where you have how to navigate the job market. You have those sessions every single week. As a data scientist, rather than applying to just data science roles, you have roles like fraud analyst, pricing analyst, data analyst, sales analyst, market research analyst, logistic analyst, supply chain management analyst, and so many other roles within the data science ecosystem. Again, you want to search for those roles that matches your skill set. And like I always tell people, Once you meet 70% of the requirements, go ahead and apply. Don't wait until you have everything that company needs. They don't want you to know everything. You can't know everything, all right? So once you meet 70%, go ahead and apply. So one of the things we also help you do when you learn with us is we break down the walls of imposter syndrome. The imposter syndrome is that syndrome in you that makes you feel inadequate, that makes you feel that I don't know enough to apply to a job. Okay? You don't have to know everything to apply to a job. All right? So you want to know enough to get you into the company. And of course, you know the building blocks, you know what you need to do, you know how to use the tools, and you can grow from there. And these are the things we help you achieve when you join any of our programs as a data analyst or data scientist. So part of the reasons why you need to learn with us, what we bring to the table, up-to-date curriculum. All right, up-to-date curriculum. And you've seen that from the data analyst curriculum to the data science curriculum, you learn the latest trending technologies. ChatGPT is embedded. Microsoft Fabric, which is an all-in-one platform for anything analytics. In Microsoft Fabric, you have different fabric materials on data analytics, data engineering, data science, and you work with Microsoft Fabric. It's a new technology deployed by Microsoft to have all their different, systems in one place. And why is that important? Why are we teaching it? We are teaching it because organizations have started migrating to Microsoft Fabric. Now, will you wait until you see in a job description that Microsoft Fabric is required before you start learning? Or would you learn it now and set yourself apart from every other person? Because when you stand in front of a recruiter, or you are on your laptop in an interview, a virtual interview, and they see your CV and see Microsoft Fabric, immediately, if I see something like that, I would assume that that person is forward-looking and that person also moves with the trend. That person would have a separate bucket where I'll put them in, to further analyze and see if we can bring them into the organization. So up-to-date curriculum, industry experts with hands-on experience. You are learning from people that have done the job. They are doing the job. They've worked with some of the biggest you. So you won't just learn from their technical expertise. You'd also learn from their experience. All right. How did they do this practically in the real world? So you learn from that as well. The blended learning approach, I talked about this already. You don't have classes every day, so you're not stressed out and bogged down with so many classes, and you are really not learning too much. So you have a blended approach to cater for every single person in class. You're a fast learner, you're a slow learner, you're a beginner, you're an expert. Everybody learns at the same pace. Starting from the ground zero, we assume that you don't know anything and you start from that level. All right. And then the additional employability services. I'm going to asterisk this because this is the most important part. For everybody I've seen that have struggled to get jobs, that's the reason why they haven't been able to get jobs, that are brilliant, intelligent, they know how to use Excel, they are fantastic with the use of Python, but why can't they get a job? Because they don't have those additional skills to set them apart, for employment. And I'll talk about them in the next slide. And last but not the least is where you also get the opportunity to intern with us, because your internship is designed to simulate the real life work environment. And once you have all of this in place, what happens? You get a job, you get the title of a master data analyst or a master data scientist. What's the additional employability services? And why is this very important if you want to get a job? When you join any of our programs, you will join all these different sessions from number 1 to 6, the weekly mentorship and on the job support. Because the focus for us is to go into organizations, and I see somebody that looks like me, an African, somebody from the Black community, getting a job, working as a data analyst, working as a data scientist, and not doing the typical menial jobs where you see a lot of Africans coming into the different countries. In the UK, for example, I've seen too many of them. All of them I call it the herd mentality. Herd mentality. Okay? Everybody doing the same thing because that's what they hear. Everybody going for the care job, everybody going for support work and so on, because that's what they hear everybody else saying. We were at the University of Bradford during their Freshers' Fair to speak to them and let them know that, look, we have a partnership with the University of Bradford to help Nigerians and Africans within the university to transition at the end of the day when they are done with their master's program or undergraduate program. All right? Your focus, you don't want your focus to just be on getting the care jobs. I've seen bank managers come to the UK and they do care, domiciliary care. If you don't know what care means somebody who takes care of the elderly people that cannot really take care of themselves. You help them to the restroom, you help them, shower and things like that. Bank managers, senior managers back in Nigeria, back in Africa, they come to the UK, to Canada, and that's what they focus on doing. Our mission is to get that narrative the other way. There are so many career paths available for you to have a clear career progression. All right. And we've helped so many people do it. And the formula is very simple. The technical skill plus the employability skill is what gets you the job. So you need to have a CV, a compelling CV that gets you there. Secondly, you need to have an optimized LinkedIn profile. Do you have proof of work? Do you have things you've done and you have on your LinkedIn? If you don't, as a recruiter, if I look at your CV, fantastic. I go to your LinkedIn, I don't see anything data science, I don't see anything data analytics. I'm not likely going to get you in or get you on board. Do you have a good profile, a good summary that talks about who you are and what you do? All right. So we work with you to help you to optimize your LinkedIn profile. We create an Upwork profile for you to search for remote jobs and work remotely, work on projects across different regions and different countries. If you already have an Upwork profile, we help you optimize your Upwork profile. And of course, navigating the job market. This is where I talked about understanding the environment, understanding that if I'm a data analyst, I don't just have to search for data analyst roles. I can get a job as a business intelligence analyst. I can get a job as a business data analyst. I can get a job as a database analyst. I can get a job as an Excel expert. There's so many roles you can apply to. If I'm in the UK, how do I transition from my CV, my current visa, to a skilled worker visa? If I'm in Canada, what are the opportunities available to me? If I'm in the US, and so on and so forth. So these are the things we bring to you during the Navigating the Job Market session. And of course, references and recommendations, also very critical. You've done all the work, you've learned all the skills, you've done I would say the hardest part of the job is applying to jobs. All right. Applying to jobs is the hardest part of transitioning because you have to apply to a whole lot of jobs and you're not applying with one CV. And that's one of the things we show you that you are doing wrong right from the very first day. If you have a CV, you throw that CV to 1 million jobs, you're likely going to get 1 million no's. Nobody would call you. You'll get no for all the 1 million jobs. Do you know the reason why? Because your CV is not tailored to that job requirement. The job requires, or the job description has specific keywords that you don't have on your CV. No human being would look at 1,000 CVs and read those CVs to understand your experience. No, it goes through the ATS system, the applicants tracking system, and then it looks for those keywords from the job description and sees if you have the keywords in your CV. If you don't, it yanks off your CV and you get, unfortunately, you're not getting called for the interview. So we work with you to ensure that you have a CV that gets you into the right places. All right. So once you've done all that work, and then it's time for you to get a reference or recommendation, every organization wants somebody that can vouch for your character. If I'm going to employ, let's see, if I'm going to employ Aderemi, for example, or employ Adriana, I don't know who Adriana is. I don't know who Aderemi is. So I want to reach out to the people that have worked with Adriana. I want to reach out to the people that have worked with Aderemi so I can tell if you're of good character. So we get all those emails from the NHS, from different organizations, from Robert Half in Canada. We get from the National Bank of Canada, so many companies, they reach out to us. This gentleman has applied to a job. We've given him an offer. Can you click on this link and provide recommendations, for him? How was his character? How many times did he miss work? Was there a specific reason, or was there any time he was involved in a disciplinary issue? So they ask all these questions to know your character. And what we do is we provide the very best reference for you. So if that's the only reason why you will not get the job, you can rest assured that that job is yours, because we provide the most compelling reference and recommendations, not just for job applications, but also for your master's, your PhD. You want to showcase that you've done something within the data ecosystem, and you want to put that as, maybe you want to get a PhD, for example, or get a master's, but you don't have experience in data. So you want to add in your SOP, you want to add in your statement of purpose that you've done this before, you've worked with analytics, you've trained with analytics. We provide a recommendation for you. Job and interview preparation. And this is where a lot of people also stumble. Okay, you are good. And most people, especially people that are very technical, that throws you off balance. All right. And this is where we help you understand how to answer questions during interviews. So we simulate an interview experience. We look at the job description and we help you walk through the questions you are likely going to get asked. And the first thing we ask you is introduce yourself. And I've heard so many answers, so many variations of introduce yourself. So again, we show you different techniques on how to answer those questions, how to structure your stories about how you have leveraged data, how you have leveraged Excel, how you have built machine learning models, and how you solve problems for organizations. So we help you understand all of these areas and all of these aspects. Next week, during our mentorship session, we are having a role play, okay? And the role play is where we are simulating people applying to jobs. So we have 3 volunteers. Those volunteers would come out during the mentorship session, and then I would ask them questions. So they've applied to a job. I have the job description. I have their CV. And I'm going to interview them one by one, asking them questions, and they respond. And then they get feedback at the end of the day. Now, one of the criteria of being a volunteer is you are somebody who is shy. You are somebody who, does not want to come out of his or her shell. So we bring you out of your shell, because guess what? You need to know how to sell yourself. You getting a job means you can sell yourself. So we are having that session on Thursday, all right, where we're going to get people, they volunteer, we ask them questions, they answer the questions based on the job, the fictitious job they've applied to, and we help them build their confidence and interview experience, because having that confidence to speak in front of people is something that gets you very far when it comes to the job application or the recruitment process itself. You have your weekly mentorship sessions where you'd see me every week. You'd see Efemena, the co-founder, every week as well. We work with you on how to apply to jobs. You've been getting rejections. We would also be there to comfort you and let you know that rejections are a part of the game. You'd get rejections, whether you like it or not. It's painful, but the best of us get rejections. We've gotten our own fair share. But the most important thing is to keep on going, keep on applying. We see where you have errors, where you've made mistakes, and we build on that to help you navigate and get that job eventually. I'm going to share a story with you, and I think we have about 2 people who will be coming to speak and tell you their experience as well, what they've been able to do. A lady that joined, she had done interviews, she got rejections. Today, she has a sponsored job working with the NHS, full-time, full visa sponsorship in the UK. And she joined our program in March 2023. She completed her 4 months. She did her internship. And today she works with the NHS. And this is just one of the recent, I would say, success stories. There are numerous, so many of them. And like I mentioned in one of the master classes, by October, so many other success stories, because I have written a ton and ton of reference and recommendation letters the past couple of weeks. Then we have on-the-job support as well. You've gotten a job and you need help finding your feet. You need help getting some things sorted out, while you find your balance as somebody transitioning into that space. So perhaps in your home country, maybe in Ghana or in Cameroon, you've always worked in strategy, or you worked in finance, or you worked in supply chain, but now you want to get a job as a data analyst or as a data scientist or as a business intelligence analyst. How do you find your feet very quickly? So we make ourselves available to you. You have problems, you reach out to us, and we work with you to help you address it. There was a gentleman who was an accountant in Nigeria. He moved to the UK. We worked with him. He joined our data analytics program. After that, he joined our data science program, and then he got a job. And his very first project was a data migration project. He didn't know what to do. He panicked. He called me, was calling me multiple times. I had to pick up his call. What's the problem? What's the challenge? Is there an emergency? He said, yes, so there's a problem. Do you know that this is the project they've given to me? I don't know what to do. And I told him, look, calm down. We'll help you address it. Okay. So myself, the co-founder, Ifemena, we worked with him, we had a conversation, and we gave him directions on what to do. He completed our project and he did very well at the end of the day. All right. So once you get all of that, you also join the virtual internship, like I mentioned. You'd work on 6 real-life projects, which you'd add to your CV. You have a portfolio. Your portfolio warehouses all the projects you have, and you'd work on some fantastic projects. You work on projects where you'll be recommending to a particular company if they should implement some, sports facility in the company based on the performance of employees. You'd clean up the data, you'd analyze the data, you'd work on Nestle product analytics, you'd work for an online food delivery companies, a logistic-based analysis for those who would want to move into logistics. You'd work on fraudulent bank transactions, where you'd help a bank identify fraudulent transactions and prevent them from happening in the future. You'd work on employee attrition, understanding why employees are leaving, and so many fantastic projects. And these are just some of the projects you'd work on. You'd work on an airline project where you'll be helping the airline optimize its revenue, optimize its pricing model. What is the optimal price we should implement for a particular aircraft that has a specific number of seats, that does specific number of flights per day, and so on and so forth. You'd work on the legacies HR case study, and so many other case studies you'd work on during your program with us. I talked about the hand detection program built by our participants and the post detection. So let's have a look at it and let's see what they've been able to do. All right. So you'd see the lady moving her hands, and you can see that is our webcam, the webcam on her laptop. She created the program, one of the projects you'd work on your computer vision project in data science, and you'd build a hand detection program. Okay, so this is one of the projects. You'd also see the pose detection. You can see the lady at the bottom, you'd see her, doing the robot dance, and it still recognizes and detects her pose. I gave you the example. I have things behind me, but you cannot see them. Why? Because Zoom has implemented a model that detects your pose and can only show your face, show your body, and not show any other objects behind you. And this is the technology driving, those type of programs. So you can see what people have built across the program when it comes to computer vision. Okay, so on LinkedIn, like I said, if you go on LinkedIn, you'd see so many of these type of projects built and showcased by our participants that have gone through our data science program. So you'd see them. You can see the gentleman with his hand raised. You can see he's detecting his hands, his face, and so on and so forth. All right. So let's move. You work with the best in the industry. Like I said, you're going to work with myself. You'd work with myself. I'll show you, help you navigate. That's going to be my major focus. All right. How do you apply to jobs? How do you navigate? How do you prepare yourself? How do you sell yourself as a data analyst, a data scientist? You'd also work with a Femena. Femena would work with you to also show you amazing stuff on how to get into data science. If it has about a decade years of experience working with some of the biggest companies across Ireland, the UK, the US as a data scientist, data engineer, and so on and so forth. You'd work with Toyin. Toyin would help you in the data analytics program, help you understand how to use Power BI, how to use Tableau to come up with fantastic data analytics solutions. She has vast years of experience working for companies across the US and Europe, and has experience in the banking, investment technology, and she's an advocate for women in tech through training and mentorship. You'd also work with Mohammed. Mohammed is one of our senior data associates as well. He has worked with Alfa Romeo in the US, working with a supply chain manager, helping them understand their supply chain issues, and also transferring and migrating their project from Excel to Power BI. And he's worked with some of the biggest companies, helping people, over 2,000 people, transition in data analytics. You'd work with Oladapo. Oladapo works with Deloitte in Bermuda. Oladapo is your Excel expert. For anybody who has joined Oladapo's class, who thought they knew Excel, they have a change of mind immediately when they go through Oladapo's sessions. So you work with Oladapo, you work with Olugbemi, who is a business data analyst with the Law Depot in Canada. He's going to help you understand Power BI. You work with Esel Gena-Brimer, who is a senior data associate with Analytics. She's a first-class graduate. She's worked about 5 years experience in the data science space, and should help you do fantastic stuff using Python. You'd work with Toma, who is a senior data associate with Analytics. You'd work with Obina, who is a data scientist in Canada. You'd work with Ibrahim, who is a medical doctor turned machine learning engineer. You'd also work with Abdurrahman, who works with one of the big 4 companies here in the UK as a data science consultant. You work with Chinazam, who works with DPD in Ireland as a data analyst, who work with you in the data science program as well, help you transition. You work with Emmanuel, who works with Softcom, and so many professionals. So you're learning from the best in the industry. And these are just some of our facilitators that you get to work with. One of the things we also do is we've implemented a multi-layered support system. All right. So let's take, for example, you join a class on Saturday, you work on a project, and there is something you did not understand. You've sent messages to your WhatsApp group, and you haven't still been able to get a solution. We organize something called the drop-in session. And this is organized by your data coaches. So apart from your trainers, you have data coaches and you have class coordinators. So they work with you to ensure that you are not left hanging. And if you have a problem, that problem gets solved. And that is one of the gaps that we cover. You don't have, Coursera will not cover this for you. different other platforms will not cover this gap for you, where you have people that are dedicated and on ground to help you address problems when they occur. The only time you don't get a problem solved is when you don't mention that you have a problem. But the moment you mention that you have a problem, you'd have people that will work with you to ensure that that problem gets solved before your next class. So you don't take any problem from a previous class into the next class. And there's so many places you can apply to jobs. I'll come back to this slide to show you how to apply to some jobs. All right. This in the UK, for example, one of the places you want to check is UK Hired. That would show you visa sponsorship jobs, gov.uk, UK visa jobs, and read.co.uk, some fantastic websites that you can apply to jobs. In Canada, you have Robert Half. We've worked with Robert Half as a recruitment consultant to help funnel some of our participants to get jobs in Canada. ZipRecruiter, Monster, the jobbank.gc.ca, and of course for remote jobs, so many of them as well. Flex Jobs, Upwork, Wellfound, which was formerly AngelList, and you have so many remote websites where you can apply to jobs, remote jobs as a data analyst, as a data scientist, as somebody who works in the data ecosystem. A lot of people have been asking me how much. Kuzi said a powerful house, absolutely powerful. It's not intimidating. We're not going to we're not going to intimidate you. We would rather work with you to ensure that you tap from the wealth of experience and the wealth of knowledge to help you make that switch as well. The next cohort starts on the 7th of October, 2023. That's next week, Saturday. Today is the 30th of September, and the year is almost gone. Q1 is gone. Q2, gone. Q3 ends today, gone. So now we have moved to Q4, all right? So for those who have always wanted to transition, I want to move into data analytics, I want to get a job in tech, I want to become a data scientist from January. We are moving into October, and this is the best time for you to start, all right? You start in October, you are able to complete your project-based classes, and then you start your internship. So you get into the new year with the skills equipped to apply to jobs within the data ecosystem and get a job, get 2024 started on a very high note, all right? People have been sending me personal messages. How much does it take to start? What do I need to join 10 Analytics? We've been having these sessions right from the beginning of September up until now. And I think apart from today, tomorrow is the last day we're going to have any session before the main class starts on the 7th of October. So if you want to join, this is the best time to start. What does it take to become a 10 Analytics participant and learn from us? If you are paying in pounds, you get to pay £400. And if you are paying in Naira, it is 320,000 Naira to join us. But I have an amazing discount for you. We always have this discount for people who join our sessions and master classes, and I'll be revealing the amazing discounts we have for you. You can also make payment in 2 installments. So the amazing discount for the first 20 people that register from this session, all right, the first 20 people to register from this session, instead of paying £400 or paying 320,000 Naira to be a part of the program, all you have to do is pay £300. So you have £100 discount to join the program, and you can break it into 2 installments. The first installment to get into the class of £200, and then the second installment of £100 1 month after the program commences. So if you pay £200 to get into the class, you receive a welcome kit. The welcome kit contains all the things you need to start your journey: how to download and install Excel, how to download and install Power BI, how to download and install Anaconda, and so on and so forth. You have everything detailed, your lesson plan, when your classes would hold, and then you start on the 7th of October. Then 1 month afterwards, you get to make the balance payment of £100. And if you're paying in Naira, instead of paying 320, you get to pay 270 to get into class, 180 as your first payment. You can make the full payment at once, and we have people who just pay the full payment. I don't want, to have a balanced payment hanging over my head. I want to go into it full time, dedicate myself, and then make the full payment. However, we've also made it easy for you to be a part of our program starting 7th of October 2023. You can pay 180 to get into the class, and then 90,000 1 month after the program commences. And if you're paid in Canadian dollars, 500 Canadian dollars to start. That's the discounted fee. 350 to start, I beg your pardon, and then 150 1 month after the program commences. How do you pay? We have so many options available for you to make payments. Some people would say, oh, I'm in Ghana. How do I pay if I'm in Ghana? I'm in Nigeria. How do I pay if I'm in Nigeria? I'm in Germany. How do I pay? I want to pay in euros. How do I make payments? All you have to do is go to this link. So you see the link on my slide. We'll share the slides with you. You'd have the slides. You'd have all the details. If you click on the link, it takes you into our payment page. All right. And the payment page, what you have in here, which my colleagues would also share in the chat. All right. So if you see the link shared in the chat, my advice is take advantage of the discounts and secure your slots today. We had about 40-something people that are joining us for the second time, second masterclass or third masterclass or fourth masterclass. If you've been procrastinating to start, this is the best time to be a part of the program. All right. So you have the opportunity to get access to the program brochures. Here you want to see maybe the different details. You have the October brochures in here. If I click on the full stack data science, you'd see all the tools you'd learn, just like the ones I've highlighted to you, all the different tools you'd learn, from statistics to Excel. You'd see the breakdown of the curriculum, and you see all the details, the projects you're going to work on, Nexus Bank case studies, Sterling e-commerce. You'd see the different machine learning. You see all the programs, the nitty gritty. So feel free, go into the brochures, look at the brochures to see the nitty gritty of what you'd be learning. So how do you make payments? I'm in Nigeria, I'm in Ghana, I'm in Cameroon, I'm somewhere across Africa. The best option for you is to use the Paystack option. Of course, you can pay using any method. However, the Paystack option is the best method. So if I go to the Paystack option, I click on the link, full or first part payment, it takes me to the Paystack where I can pay for the data analytics. So let's click on data analytics or full stack data science. So if you're in Ghana, for example, what our Ghanaian brothers and sisters, what they do is you get the conversion in CDs. So 180 if you're paying the part payment, or 270 if you're paying the full payment. It gives you the conversion in CDs, and then you can make your payment to start. So if I choose full payments, for example, it gives me 270,000. So if I'm in Ghana and I select full payment, I'll see my payment in CDs and I can make my payment. So Paystack is the best option for you in Ghana because PayPal is not available in Ghana. So use Paystack and you can make your payments. All right. If I select part payments, it gives me the discounted fee, the first part payment of 180. If I click add to bag, I can then go to checkout, and then I get to make my payments. I enter my name, enter my email, my phone number, and then I can start to make my payments. All right. What if I'm in Europe, I'm in Germany, I'm in Poland, and I also want to pay? You can use either the Paystack option like I've just shown you, or you can use the PayPal option. All right. So if you have a PayPal account, or if you don't have a PayPal account, but you also want to make payments using your Euro card, your pound, your dollar card, you can make payments using PayPal. All right. If you want to make the full payments, you click on full payments. It takes you to the Tenalytics Tech Carriers program, £300. You can see that. If you're paying in dollars, it does the conversion for you. If you're paying in euros, it does the conversion for you. So if I click on buy now, I click on pay using PayPal. If I have a PayPal account, it would simply request for me to sign in to PayPal. But if I don't have a PayPal account, I'll simply click on this link that says pay by debit or credit card. All right. And once you click on that link, you have the option, you enter your country or region, you enter your email address, your card details, and then you get to make payments at the end. Pay now as a guest. So this assumes that you don't have a PayPal account. So you pay as a guest, we receive your payment. The moment we confirm your payment, you receive a welcome kit. All right. Now you can also make payments using a direct transfer. You don't want to pay using your card, or maybe you don't have a debit or credit card. You want to just do a direct transfer. You can transfer to our pound account, or you can transfer to our Nigeria account, which is a Fidelity Bank account. Okay, so you make the payment, do a direct transfer, and take a screenshot of your proof of payment. Okay, once you take a screenshot of the proof of payment, you go to where you have upload your proof of payment. All right, upload your proof of payment, your initial receipts. If you click on this, you then see how to upload. You enter your details, your name, your first name, your email, and then you'd see where to upload. Some people would say, oh, look, I don't have time in October. Can I join in November? Absolutely. We have another cohort that will start in November, but for you to be a part of the November program, you need to take advantage of the discounts for this October cohort. So you can make payments and defer to November. So when you're uploading your receipts, uploading your proof of payment, you'd see an option that would allow you indicate when you want to start. If you want to start in October, you want to start in November, or you want to start in December, because you can defer 2 months into the future. So I can pay today and start my program in December, or I can pay today and start in November, or I can pay today and start in October, which is this cohort starting, the most recent cohorts starting. All right. So that's how you make payment. Very straightforward, very seamless. You also have the account detail on the screen. All right. You have the account detail on the screen. You can do a direct transfer to our UK account, or you can do a transfer to our Nigeria account, which is a Fidelity Bank account. And if you ever want to ask us a question, you want to reach out to us, you can send a message to any of these numbers. If I were you to be part of the first 20 people to register, because this is what happens typically, you have 100 and something plus, 200 plus people attend a session, and then the discount is available to the first 20 people from that session. Now, by Monday, the discount is gone. The slots are gone. And then you have people saying, no, please, I was a part of the session. Can I also take advantage of the discount? I want to pay my money now. So my advice is, if you want to be a part of the program, go ahead, take a screenshot of the account details, send in your payments, and be a part of the cohort starting on the 7th of October, or you want to start in November, but take advantage of the discounts now, you can also do that. Either way, the discounts and registration ends on Wednesday. So it's either, if we first get to 20, the discount is off the table. If we haven't gotten to 20, but it gets to Wednesday, the 4th of October, registration is also closed. Discount is also off the table. So this is one of the last times you have to be a part of the program if you want to join us at Analytics. All right. So I'll play just a very quick video. And then we have some people that would come share their experience. They've been a part of our program, and then they want to share their experience of how the program has been, and you get to hear from them as well. So I'll just play this video very quickly. All right, it's a 3 minutes video, and then would have other people come to share their experience, and then I'll take questions and answers, and we can wrap up our session for today. Let's listen to Ikmat. So we have Ikmat, we have Ramat, we have a couple of people that have transitioned, but Ikmat's story is recent and is also very compelling in the sense that Ikmat was out of job for 4 years. She had a baby. She needed to take care of her baby. So she was a full stay-at-home mom for 4 years. She came into the UK. She joined our program in March, and then she got a job. We worked with her during her interview, helped her prepare, and she got a job with the NHS with full visa sponsorship. All right. So let's listen to Ikmat's story. So you learn from Ikmat's story and you get to learn how we offer value to our community and people that join our programs. All right. So let's sit back and listen and enjoy the story.
I chose Wix for my business because of its massive scope for functionality and freedom of.
Hi everyone, my name is Ikmat and I was with the March cohort in Analytics, and joining Analytics has been the best decision so far. You know, for me, someone coming from a background of full housewife, because I had to stay back home to look after my child for 4 years, and then wanting to break into something new, wanting to go back into the workforce, you know, wanting to place myself in the society for better job opportunities. So it was a lot. And then I'm glad that Analytics came along, and then they presented me with so many opportunities right in front of me, better opportunities. And then I'm glad I took it. And then also the advice of do not sell yourself short, that Effie is always saying, it is very, very valid, because place yourself right, you know, don't sell yourself short. It's a very, very, very valid advice. You know, in Analytics, they will hold your hands like a child, you know, through the modules. You have the opportunity to go back and study. You have the opportunity to go back and practice. You have the opportunity to ask questions. You know, you have people you can always go back to, even outside of class hours. It's the most amazing experience so far, really. And then another thing is the interview prep, guys. That is another very important thing. I did my interview prep with Mr. Mohammed, and it is the best decision ever, because he was like, he saw into the future. He knew what was going to be asked. And I'm glad that I wrote down all the things he mentioned. I went back to practice, and then when it was time for the interview, it was like everything he was mentioning, everything he mentioned, it was just, they kept on. And then when I was answering those questions, I was so confident, you know, because I already practiced. I did an Excel test, I did a maths test, and then they were really impressed. And another thing is, guys, it may not come as fast as you expect. Definitely you are going to get some no's, and then you may begin to think you're not good enough. You are good enough, yes. The no's will come, but always take it as a basis for learning and development, because after every interview where I got a no, I always make sure I get a personal feedback. So I work on those feedbacks for my next interviews. And yes, it worked. It really worked for me, because I got my first job 3 months into the program, my first job. But I couldn't take up the job because I was a student, and I was only eligible to work 20 hours. So I couldn't take up the job. 3 months later, I got 2 jobs with full visa sponsorship. And guys, all the other no's before the 2 jobs prepared me for the yeses I got. So yes, the no's will come, but do not give up, because you always have Analytics to go back to. They are the best, and the best thing that's ever happened to me. And then yes, and they are the most affordable. The most affordable one I've come across so far. And that's the very good advantage. So yes, Analytics for the win.
Right. So that's Ikmat's story. So why I said it's important for you to follow us on YouTube. You get to listen to so many other stories from people who have been a part of Analytics. All right. You get to see so many testimonials, people that have been able to transition. Ungufan, for example, studying with Analytics has been amazing. Get to listen to people's story, people like you that are also trying to switch. Listen to Ramat's story, how Ramat was also able to get a job as a business analyst only after 3 months training with us. So this helps you to see the opportunities that are available across the ecosystem and how you can also tap into it. All right. So I have the links for you to click, follow, us across all our platforms, get to interact with our materials, enjoy the free sessions we've had over the last few months. And then if you have questions, always feel free to reach out to us. I'll be very, very happy to answer the questions you have. All right. So please, Joan, if we have the people that are here to speak, please just, coordinate that very quickly. Let's have them come to speak before we wrap up. Then I take questions and then we call it a day. All right. So Joan, who do we have?
Okay, so we have Prince Adeakani on the call from Data Analytics.
Prince is here. Fantastic. So Prince, if you can go ahead and put on your video.
Okay.
Let's get to sports. Let's spotlight you very quickly. Fantastic. Good to see you one more time, Prince. Go ahead. So Prince, good evening, Prince. So Prince joined one of our programs, right? The data analytics, if I'm correct, Prince.
Yes, that's correct.
All right. So share your experience with us. Okay. People want to hear from you, what you've been able to do, what you've been able to learn. So go ahead.
So I joined analytics July 2023. And I'm this guy that I know basic use of computer. So I know absolutely nothing about data analysis. I know nothing. When I say nothing, the max I know about anything Microsoft is how to type maybe a letter in Microsoft Word. If you tell me anything about Excel, I'm off. I will run. I know nothing. I've never opened Excel before. So I joined the analytics by July 2023, and it's been amazing. When I say amazing, I mean amazing. And you guys don't really understand the amazing part until I show you what that amazing has done. I don't know. Is it possible that I share my screen?
Yes, absolutely. So I'll stop sharing mine. So go ahead and share,
Okay.
Prince. You can go ahead, please.
Okay. Okay, let me just share screen up. Can you guys see my screen?
It's coming up. Yes, we can see your screen. We can see your desktop.
Okay, all right, good. So I've heard nothing about, there's something they call Power BI. Before I joined, I know nothing about it. Analytics actually opened my eyes to that. I heard it here first. I know Excel, yes, but now Excel is God. I don't want to really say something. I don't want to say much. I'd rather just show you. So I won't even be showing you anything in Excel. I'd rather show you something that I did in Power BI. And how did I go about it? This is not even a project that we did in class, but rather the analytics have a way that they will equip you with information. They actually gave us information of a place that we can actually get data and work with this data to actually hone our skills, like perfect our skills, do many things with the skills. So I did that, and I came up with this dashboard. I don't know, can you see my Power BI dashboard?
Brilliant. We can see. Just walk us through what you've done. This looks fantastic.
Okay, so this dashboard now, it tracks your finance. Maybe you are personal, you're individual, you're a small business, you are a big enterprise. You basically just track all your finances, and with it, it shows you your income. It shows you your expenses. This is now general now. Then we have a way to set the the monthly alert to show you how much you have to pay in a month, how much bills you have to pay, and it also tell you your side income per month is per month, guys, per month, coming from somebody that joined analytics in July, zero knowledge about anything called Power BI, and I'm able to do this on my own. Hi, guys, sincerely. So if you see, this is general. I clicked on month here, and you see that the dashboard has changed, tracking your monthly expenses according to your monthly income. Also showing your side income, telling you that your income is greater than target, giving you in-depth analysis of your monthly income. Now, this is Power BI. There's still Tableau. There's still SQL. So this is Power BI. If you click on the month, all the month is going to be telling you the detailed information. And mind you, all these things that is here that changed to this fantastic dashboard now, they came in columns and rows. So we're able to convert all those columns and rows into something like this that is very useful to an individual, to a small business, to a big enterprise. Who doesn't want to track their expenses? Who doesn't? Who? Everybody does. And you're able to do that with the help of the knowledge that analytics will impact in you. Now, I will want to show you something that they did, because they did. If you can see this dashboard, can you guys see my Power BI and PowerPoint screen?
The PowerPoint slide, yes, we can see it.
Okay, so if you guys can just take a screenshot, so you see it's like a question. And this question is not really a question, is these are the challenges that a particular business is facing. And the business is just like, you guys should just help. How do I go about these things? All I see here is just numbers, numbers. No, I don't understand anything. And you, as a data analyst, you're able to come up with all these questions with the help of the data, by understanding the data. All these things that I'm saying, I know nothing. By July, I know nothing. So you're able to understand all these things, and you take the data in rows and columns, understand the rows, everything only comes in rows and columns. You take it, then you bring it to this. Now tell me, as a business owner, you're able to track, know where your business is doing very well. You're able to check the product that is doing very well, which is like this one, the most sold product. You're able to track your revenue by country, if it's by country, if it's by state. Maybe you are in a particular state, you want to check different town, like in your state, you can do all these things. You're able to know everything in depth. And this is Tableau. Tableau, I've never had Tableau in my life, never. Or here, this is me doing dashboard on the Tableau. This is me running analysis. This is me checking the number of customers that they have, looking at the trend of sales, looking at counting the number of countries that their product is available in. It is big, guys. It is very big. And there's nobody, business, individual, whatever, that don't need progression in whatever they're doing. And you as a data analyst, the analytics will equip you to do something like this. If I know you guys might not really understand, but if you see this revenue trend analysis, it actually gives you the trend whereby you are getting your income in a month, in the month, year. It's telling you the trend. Now, you as a business owner, we went ahead as we as data analysts, we went ahead and even show you a forecast, like, okay, with this information that we have, with how your business is doing, by next year or next 2 years or in the next 3 years, this is the formation that your business will take. That is, I think I was saying something the other time, like the people that predict the future.
Yes.
It is not magic. It is not magic. It is in data. It is in your data, and you can't know it except you're a data analyst, you're a data scientist. And how do you become that? By coming through in class. If you look at the slides that I showed before, I don't know if you noticed the analytics at the top left. That is because in the class, they won't give you books to be reading. No, nobody will give you book to be reading. Read book for what? Take this problem that a particular business is having, that but it won't take problem that a particular business is having, and solve it. Now they won't say, oh yeah, solve it and go and look for. No, they will teach you how to solve it. After teaching you, they will give you another one. Oh yeah, try it. If you work like that, if you learn things like that, before coming on to this presentation, I have tons of projects. I don't even know which one I want to present, because in class, they don't give you books. They give you projects. You solve this project, you solve this project. After you're done, you solve, and they still give you resources to learn at your own pace. Like your, God. I don't want to talk too much, because it's just like I'm having a sweet mouth or something, but the knowledge they impacted compared to the amount I paid is nothing. And whatever amount you pay, aside the fact that they'll still put you through CV optimization, if you get your first salary, guys, just one salary, it's going to have plenty problem, plenty. And you even know, you look at the people, that the lady that came up and said she's been out for years. It's not magic, it's in data, and you have to just know that it's not like they are sweet talking, or the money, number one, is nothing compared to the knowledge they will impact in you. And at the end of the day, you understand the reason why is why I'm able to do all these things compared that I knew nothing by July 2023. Today is September 30, just 3 months. Ah. And this is just the visualization part. There's SQL. So let me just let
Yeah. Prince,
me just let me just
that's
let me just
fantastic.
leave it for a second. I want to talk.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, for joining. Where are you joining us from, Prince?
I'm in Nigeria. I'm in Ibadan. I'm joining from Ibadan. I'm in Nigeria.
Ibadan, Nigeria. Thank you very much, Prince, for taking our time this evening to share your experience. And again, it's very important that for people getting into the space, they want to see people like you, Prince, that started, about 2 months ago, July, and now you are doing fantastic stuff. You are showing us a dashboard, tracking revenue. You even forecasted into the future, showing us what you've done using Power BI as well. I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal. I remember one of your presentations. I joined. I remember vividly. So that's why I remember your name. I remember your name when
That
it
was
came up.
that was attrition.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Yes, I
that's another
remember.
project on its
Absolutely.
own.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Prince, for coming around to
Thank
share
you.
your experience. We
Thank you
deeply
for having
appreciate
me.
it. All
Yeah,
right.
thank you.
So
I'll
again,
stop.
that's Prince. We've seen what Prince has done, what he's been able to achieve. Just like so many of you, Prince joined a free session like this, all right, and he decided to start his journey. And he's building amazing stuff. He knows how to use Tableau. He had never heard of Tableau, but he can. You saw what he presented with Tableau. Absolutely phenomenal. And also using Power BI, building amazing visualizations. And that's how you get started and move into the space. All it takes is that very first step to take the decision to start. For everybody that we've come across and that has gone through our program, they tell you one thing: the value you get is far below the amount you spend. And I'll tell you the reason why. It stems from our mission as a company. And I'll give you a typical example. I've given these statistics in different sessions and master classes. In 2022, I always like to visualize this. So I'm going to write it down so that it sticks and we really understand the veracity of getting into tech, why it's important, and there is no better time than now to get into tech. In the year 2022, that was last year, we had 25,000 people. So just give me 1 second. I'll write it down so that it sinks. If I write it down, it sinks and you understand exactly what I'm trying to say. So walk with me. Okay. Sorry, just give me 1 second. I need to share my screen again. So walk with me and let's look at this together. All right. Why you as an African, you as a Nigerian, you as a Ghanaian, you need to get into tech. And I'm taking Canada as a case study. Everybody who goes to Canada today, UK, Canada, the US. In the year 2022, last year, you had 25,000 roles, 25,000 tech roles given to immigrants that moved to Canada. Out of the 25,000 roles that were available to immigrants that migrated to Canada, 15,000 plus was given to Indians. All right. First of all, Nigeria was the only country on the top 10 list. And guess how many roles Nigerians got out of 25,000? India was number one, 15,000 plus. I can't remember the exact value. Nigeria was number two on the list, but guess how many jobs? Nigeria had only 1,808 out of 25,000. So while the Indians got over 60% of the tech roles available, Nigeria got less than 7%. Less than 7%. And this is the disparity that we keep on preaching against. The Nigerians, the Africans, we are focusing on the wrong things, focusing on the menial jobs, focusing on jobs, the easy way out, the herd mentality. Everybody is moving towards one place. Why do we always have to move towards that same place? There's so many opportunities available. Too many opportunities available for us not to take advantage of them. 2023, the statistics would come out, would read it out again. 2024, opportunities await those that have the skills to transition into the space. So it only depends on the people that are willing to learn the skill and also make the switch. People are asking, oh, can the discount be extended to Friday? No, it cannot. And the reason is very simple. The class starts on Saturday. And before class starts, there are certain things you need to put in place. You need to see your timetable, your classes on Saturday. You don't have classes on Sunday. You also need to have downloaded your tools and applications, have your computer ready. So all those things you need to prepare ahead of time. So die minutes, last minute is something we kick against, because at the end of the day, it affects you. Right? So you register on Friday, for example, you probably won't have all the time to download your applications, get everything ready before class starts. And that's why Wednesday is when we cut off registration, and discount also goes out on Wednesday. So we want to bring this number from 1,800. And we don't want only Nigeria to be on the list. We are the Ghanaians. We are the Kenyans. We are the Rwandans. Okay, where are the other Africans? Only Nigeria is on the top 10, and we're struggling with just 7% at 1,800 jobs. Why don't we get more Africans into tech? And that's what we stand for. And that's why we ensure that we bring in as many people as we can. Prince has started his journey. In the next couple of weeks, next couple of months, you'd have Prince on our slide where we'll be telling you that Prince started his journey in July. Prince has gotten a job. And that's how the story always goes. This is Benga. Benga got a job in Poland. All right. Benga sent me a message about 3 weeks ago telling me that, look, apart from just getting the job, Benga got a fantastic job. He had 3 more offers when he got his job. His probationary period was cut short. Positively, obviously. He had 3 months probationary period, but then he got confirmed after 2.5 months. So he didn't do the whole 3 months to get confirmed. And this was his confirmation email. He sent it to me and he was saying, thank you again for your input. I was very excited. Fantastic. Congratulations. And he was saying, thank you, sir. So this is Benga, who joined the program sometime in February. He completed his classes, completed his internship. He had been in Poland, struggling to get a job, joined our program, got a job as a business data analyst after completing our data analytics program. All right. And Benga got the job, hybrid. He works remotely, goes to the office, I think twice in a week, and he's been able to do well for himself. This is Sunday. Sunday works as a regulatory data analyst in the UK after completing our full stack data science program. You have Nathaniel, who got a job as a data scientist with one of the largest private research firms in Spain, Barcelona, Spain, after completing our full stack data science. You have Amaka, who works as a business support analyst. Now, if you see the job title, you'd understand why it's important not to only search for data analytics. Let's take it back and look at the job titles. All right. Benga, business data analyst. He joined data analytics. Sunday, regulatory data analyst. He joined the data science. Nathaniel, data scientist. He joined data science. So this directly correlates. Amaka, business support analyst, and she joined data analytics. So many people. Desola works as a business analyst. Steven works as a junior data analyst, joined our data analytics program. Wislin works as a sales analyst. She joined our data analytics program. And so many people, you have their story. Olugbemi is in Canada. He works as a business data analyst with a law depot in Canada. So, read all these people's stories, watch the videos, listen to what Olugbemi also has to say. Very, very crucial. Fantastic journey. We worked with Olugbemi. We helped him during his interview, and he was able to get a job. Today, he's helping other people in Canada to make the transition and make the switch. So I'm not going to bore you with all the different success stories. This is Ebube. She works with the NHS as a data scientist after joining our full stack data science program. This is Abdul Rashid, joined our full stack data science program. He works remotely from Ilorin, Kwara State in Nigeria for a company in the US, Chow 420, all right? So you'd see these people that have joined, just like you heard from Prince a few minutes ago, learned all the things he needed to learn, applied, and he's gotten jobs and doing fantastic in his journey and his career, all right? So again, I'll stop here, I think, and we'll take questions before I come back to wrap up the session for today. So let's take questions. If you have questions, please feel free. Use the hand raise icon. I'll call you up to unmute yourself, or you can send your question to the chat and I'll pick your questions from there. Can a busy civil servant work? Join. I mean, as long as you don't work on Saturday, you can join the session, all right? Saturdays is when you have your live classes. And again, even if you miss a class, which we don't advise, all right? We don't advise you to miss classes, but let's assume you miss a class. I'll show you what the platform looks like where you don't miss anything. And I'm sure maybe if Prince wants to add one or two, maybe he can come back to also speak about it. But let's look at a class. Let's look at Prince's class. Prince started in July, right? So let's look at Prince's class. Let's see what they're doing or what they've done so far in Prince's class. So you can see this is the classroom, the platform. I have all the classrooms because I'm in all the classrooms. So you would only see the classroom that you have paid for. Okay, so let's go to data analytics, July, which was when Prince joined. So I'm just going to go to data analytics July cohorts, and then let's see. Okay, so this is data analytics EU. You can see that cohort 2307, which is the class Prince joined. So let's open up this class and let's see what they've done so far in Prince's class. So let's click on people for you to also have an understanding. So in Prince's class that started in July, there are 46 students in this. Remember, the data analytics is broken into two, the morning and the evening. So this is the morning class, all right? And you can see that here, data analytics EU. And these are for people who are in Nigeria, who are in the UK, similar time zones. Let's go to the class and let's see what they've done. So you have a proper structure of how the classes, how the classes would run. So what I'll do is just to scroll all the way to the beginning. This is the last thing they did, which was the mentorship session. I took this mentorship session where I showed them how to tailor their CV for those that have previous experience that is unrelated to the career path they're trying to move into. A civil servant, just like the person who asked the question, who has done something totally different from data analytics. How do you tailor your CV when applying to jobs? That was what this mentorship session was all about. Let's look at the resources and let's see. Okay, no, let's look at the mentorship session. So you'd see this is the recording. In case you missed the recording, you have everything recorded. And that was why I was saying that if you miss the live class, you have everything recorded. And that was why I was saying you don't miss anything. All right? You don't miss anything. So from the very first session, you have your onboarding materials, you have your welcome kits, you have the Tenalytics terms and conditions, you have how to navigate the classroom. So how do you download data? How do you move around? You have everything here. Your onboarding session, where it would show you what you need to take note of, how to move, how to access your recording. And this is the very first class, the problem solving class. Okay, problem solving, this happened on the 1st of July. You can see that. So let's assume you missed this class. Okay, you missed the problem solving class. The question is, how do you get what? And this is the beauty of virtual learning. All right, so here you have the class slide. So first of all, if you go to the class slide, you click on the slide, you'd see what the slide that was used. You can download. All you have to do is click here, open in a new tab, and then you can download the slide. You have it on your computer. All right, you have it on your computer, sorry. maximize. So here you can see download. You can download the file, you have it on your computer, and it is yours. So this is the problem solving class taken by Nene. Nene has worked with Denom Group, worked with KPMG, worked with the Bank of America, Loros Development Partners. Nene, would be your facilitator for the problem solving. And this is where we also show that we start with the beginner in mind. So you're not going to start by working on Excel, building stuff on Power BI like Prince showcased. You'd start with what is data. All right, from the beginning, the building blocks. What is data, types of data, what is data analytics, what are the types of data analytics. We talked about descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. So you start from the building blocks, and this is where you build, your understanding and knowledge of all the things you'll be doing. You also have the class recording. So you come here, you click on the link, it takes you to the class recording, and then you can watch the recording. You can watch what happened in class in case you missed that session. So at your own convenience, you have everything available. Okay, so it's still rolling. We're just going to go back. So this was the class Prince joined. He had done his problem solving. And then you have the Excel watch me do it videos. Okay, so once you are done with problem solving, you move on to Excel. Now, Excel, you have some key concepts. The first video you watch is on the introduction to Excel. Introduction to what? Excel. So you understand what Excel is all about. You're not going to start building immediately. All right. Second video talks about paste special. All right. The very basics, understanding the Excel environment. So you watch the videos on your own, very short videos to help you understand the key concepts, how to navigate the Excel environment. And you see that here. Okay, so you can see the Excel interface. You can see, you start by understanding what is the row, what is a row, what is a column, before you move into anything complex. All right, so this is Excel. You have your first Excel class, the Excel live class, and your classes are project-based, like I mentioned. So your very first Excel class, you have a case study. You have a live case study where you solve problems using the things you've learned from the video that you've watched. Your live classes are always project-based, all right? So if we move on, you see your mentorship sessions. This comes up every week. 13th of July, you have a mentorship session. You have your Excel live classes, the live class 2. Let's see the case study for this particular class. The case study that was done for the live class 2. So every single class is based on a case study. So challenge yourself. You can see the case studies. Okay, you can see the case studies. Let me open this so that you see what it looks like. Every class is a practical solution, is a practical case study for you to get work done. So you're working for ABC Limited. You're going to help them analyze their financial records. Okay, so these are some of the things Prince learned in class, and that's why Prince is doing a fantastic job. He could showcase all those things he's built. So you move on, your next mentorship session on the 20th, and you can see the structure, how the session has been structured. Upwork optimization, your Power BI live class. So you see all the things you would learn. CV review session, your CV watch me do it. And you have all this fantastic stuff that would help you transition at the end of the day. Okay, Tableau. And if I scroll up, you see the SQL. You have a group project. All right, you have presentations from time to time. So when Prince came up, you could hear the passion in Prince's voice because he really loved what he does and he just wants to talk about and showcase what he's been able to do. All right, so I mean, you have your data storytelling class. You have your capstone project. So they're currently doing their capstone project. SQL, Tableau, Power BI, Excel. You'd work on different case studies on the capstone project. If you have an interview, all you need to do is come to your classroom and you'd see the link, schedule an interview. So you see the link to schedule an interview, you click on the link, it takes you to how to schedule your interview. You select the next date available, click on the dates, select a time, and then you have your interview scheduled for you. And so you have somebody joining that call and help you navigate creating your website portfolio. All right. So you need to have a portfolio, like we mentioned, where you keep all your projects. So how to create your website portfolio, that you have a link. Anybody who clicks on that link will take you to that portfolio. So you see the videos on how to create your portfolio. Okay, so let's click on one of them and see if we can watch just a bit of what it looks like. So that portfolio is what would showcase to employers, potential employers, that you've been able to build stuff. Okay, so we show you how to create your portfolio. You upload your projects. You have your projects into the portfolio. So this is Victor, who created the video, one of our senior data associates, to show you how to upload your files, have it on your portfolio, and then you can showcase your portfolio using GitHub. All right, using GitHub. Okay, so you can see the portfolio, what it looks like. So anybody who comes here can see what you've built, all the things you've built. Okay, so let's go back. I think I'll take more questions and then we start to round off. Why is there no physical class? We don't have physical classes, first of all. The world is moving away from physical sessions, physical classes. Today, we work remotely, we work virtually. We should also learn remotely and learn virtually. You have the opportunity to learn from the best in the industry at the comfort of your home. Okay, one of the advantages of virtual learning. So physical classes would limit participation. Today we have people on this call. You saw, I don't know if you joined at the beginning, Ifeoluwa. We had people from Rwanda, from Ghana, from Nigeria, from the UK, from Canada, from Saudi Arabia, from all across the globe. And that's the beauty of a physical class, of a virtual class, I beg your pardon. All right. Okay, so I think I've pretty much answered the questions that we have in the chat. So if you have more questions, guys, feel free to ask me your questions and I'll be very happy to answer them before we call it a day. If we have more questions, you can use the hand raise icon and I'll answer those questions. Last year, again, was one of our most fantastic years. We had so many impacts and you can see the features from different, some of the largest publications. The Business Day featured us talking about how we've helped Africans across 4 continents to land tech jobs. Nairametrics, The Punch, the Vanguard. You had the Vanguard, you had the Business Day, PR Fire in the UK. We also gave scholarships in March to commemorate the International Women's Month. So Ikmat, who got a job, you watched Ikmat's video. She was a beneficiary of this scholarship to 300 women in the month of March to help more women get into tech. All right. And this was, covered by Tech Cabal. We had a hackathon also, I think that was in December, if I'm correct. Oh, I beg your pardon, that was in May this year for our participants. It was a data hackathon for Tenalytics alumni. And there was a $1,000 cash prize. And we had judges from some of the biggest companies. Michelle was from the Lloyds Banking Group in the UK. We had Sadiq, who was from Google. We had Sebastian, who was from the University of Cambridge. And we had Olamide, who was the head of data and analytics from Wema Bank. Okay, our participants work with some of the biggest companies: the Frasers Group, HSBC, Cognizant, GNI, Western Union, the Post Office, Autoglass, eBay, KPMG, Zenith Bank, some of the biggest companies, Revolut, and so on and so forth, Amazon, Microsoft, and they've been able to get amazing value learning with us. All right. So I'm going to take question from Balogun and then Ugochukwu, and we'll call it a day for today. All right. So Balogun, I've asked you to unmute yourself. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Good evening, Mr. Adeza.
Good evening,
Thank you for
Balogun.
this. Actually, I joined the yesterday section. Is quite okay yesterday answering your question. I've also joined a Femina 5 p.m. session today. Though
Okay.
from my place of work, I usually work on Saturday, and unfortunately, I didn't start there with you today to know the how to leverage ChatGPT into the data space.
Okay.
My question is, though I'm planning in future to subscribe for the program actually. So how can you explain the value for money, and as far as the what you showed in your last slide there, the company I think you match for, is there any how you are going to network your applicant in respect to the companies, or there is a way? I know part of the program you usually do the CV review, recommendation. You show someone now, someone Abdurrahman, yeah, what's
Abdurrahman,
the Abdurrahman? Let me remember his full name.
I'm not sure. I think his surname is Iyani Wura. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Abdurrahman. Let me be glad with you. He's my classmate when we are in high institution.
Ah, interesting.
He studied mathematics. He know me in person. He's my classmate. So you are a scholar.
Interesting.
Abdurrahman Yaniwura
Yes.
is my
So you want
classmate.
your question is
So
the value for money.
the value
Is
for
that
money and the networking regarding what most people, I don't know, other people's mind, you just say, okay, if they subscribe after the subscription, are they going to, I don't know, maybe I saw the question this evening, maybe are they going to help them to network this? I was just laughing saying, okay, until they subscribe, though I'm planning. The laptop I'm using personally is company laptop, which I can use for some period of time, and it is actually get some security to it, as far as company data is concerned.
okay?
So
So networking and value for money. All
yes,
right. So networking, absolutely. And one of the, like I mentioned, when I was answering the question that the other lady asked the other time, why do we have just virtual classes? And that's because we foster a community of diverse sets of individuals. Okay, so you get to work with somebody like Prince, who is in Ibadan. Prince gets to work with somebody like other professionals in different other regions in the UK, in Canada, in Saudi Arabia, in UAE. You work with a diverse set of people. Okay, now how do we help our
I had a
participants?
little network issue for some seconds.
All right. So I'm just going to mute, okay, Balogun. I'll try to start again. So I was saying that in terms of networking, really, the way we help you is, first of all, you join a community of a diverse set of learners from different regions that would also work with you. You'd make friends, you'd collaborate together, you'd solve problems together, you'd join groups to solve problems in class. So that's the in-class community. Now, on the other hand, during your mentorship sessions, we bring other industry experts to help you work on your branding, to help you understand the trends within the industry. We brought the founder of Mainstack, one of the tech startups in the US, doing amazing work, to also come share his perspective on the opportunities available. We hold free masterclasses and free sessions like this. And we have recruiters who also reach out to us to recommend across different countries, even in Nigeria. We have people reach out to us in Nigeria. Oh, we are looking to hire data engineers. We're looking to hire data analysts. We are looking to hire data scientists. And then we recommend people. We request for CVs and we recommend people to those different organizations. So you have a multi-layered, multi-approach networking platform, and you join a community when you register with Analytics. Now, one of the things we also got from the hackathon I showed you just a few minutes ago. I'll just quickly move back to the hackathon. All right. We had the hackathon strictly for our alumni. And let me tell you what happened. During the hackathon, Michelle promised to work with a couple of our participants in helping them get jobs in the UK. Sebastian is still working with our participants, working on articles that will be presented in the AI journal, AI publication, one of the largest AI publications across the globe. He's still working with them today, and that would also be featured in the BBC. We've had people get jobs and internship opportunities from previous hackathon sessions because we bring industry experts who are looking to hire people like you. So the hackathon is a fantastic, platform to showcase your skills and what you've been able to learn. We had somebody, Obina, for example, in 2022, who got a job with Trips in Nigeria. They hired him as an intern from the hackathon. We had somebody who also got a job with Mustard Insights from the hackathon. All right. We had internship opportunities that came up from there as well. So you have these, platforms designed to showcase you to the world. In terms of value for money, the value for money is immense for us. And what I'll just tell you to do is, for the quality that we bring to the table and for the value that we bring, apart from just the skill you learn, the additional benefits, do a benchmark study, and then you'd see that there is a wide gap in terms of what we bring to you, the value we bring to you, and what you pay. The focus for us is to get the numbers of Africans, the numbers of Nigerians, the numbers of Ghanaians, the number of the Black community into tech, to get it increased to an exponential level. That's the focus for me. I want to get into companies here in the UK and see people that look like me doing jobs as data scientists and as data analysts and so on and so forth. All right. So the value is immense, and the value, our value speaks for us anywhere we go. Listen to the testimonials, watch all the videos, go through our platform, subscribe to our platform. At least it's free of charge to subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, which is X, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Follow us across all our platform and see the amazing work we've been doing. Okay, I think I've answered that question from Balogun. Ugochukwu, I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself. Go ahead and.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, Ugochukwu.
Good evening, Ugochukwu. It has been a very, very interesting section, mind-blowing, with the way you were doing the magic with the GTP. How do you call it? It was so interesting. My question is, one, I did project management with another training organization, but it was my first enrollment into tech, so I didn't really get much. I needed a fresher class before I came across the analytic about getting to a year now, and I'm so interested in taking one of your courses because I see value in what you are doing. I see the intensity of job putting that you put in training this for them students.
Okay.
So I just want to know which of the class can I enroll in now, because I'm tempted to enroll into the data analytic class, but I was having in mind business analysis. So I don't know, I'm confused.
All right. So
Secondly,
I'm just going to mute because there's a feedback from your end, Ugochukwu. Very good question. We are a bit confused because you've done project management and you want something that complements the project management you've learned. Now, from the top of my head, what I'll recommend to you based on what you've done before is business analysis. And that's simply because business analysis complements project management. How? Our business analysis program is a combination of 3 different areas. Data analytics, because you would learn Excel, Power BI, SQL. Project management, because you would learn project management methodologies from Agile to Scrum to Waterfall and so on and so forth. And then you learn the core business analysis fundamentals, from business requirement documentation to process mapping to stakeholder analysis and engagement and so on and so forth. So 3 key areas. So project management is already a part of business analysis. So that can go hand in hand. All right. And I know that there are a couple of you that would also have similar questions, would have clarity sessions. And these clarity sessions are more one-on-one focused, where we have just a few people on the call, maybe 5 to 7 or 10 people, and you have the opportunity to ask your questions, specific questions related to your own current situation, like Ugochukwu, for example. So if you've joined any of the WhatsApp groups, the details on how to schedule a clarity session will be sent to you. If you have filled the attendance form after this session, you still want clarity on how to select a program, if this is the right one for me, based on what I've done over the last few years, would also, put in the link for you to indicate if you want to join a clarity session. All right. So, but at the top of my head, Ugochukwu, what I'll recommend is the business analysis program. So the link that has been shared for the payments, you'd see where you have the brochures. The link to the brochure contains all the programs that we offer. This masterclass today is for data analytics and data science, all right? But the link has all the brochures for the programs we offer. So you can take a look at it, take a look at the business analysis, and I think that's the best for you to join, okay? Somebody's asking, how do we protect our eyes from the screen? Very good question. Of course, you have to take care of your eyes. And I think John has responded to that already. LED blue light, protection glasses, and that protects your eyes from the screen. This also protects my eyes, all right? And because I stay in front of the screen a whole lot, you have to protect yourself. Let me take the last question from Tubingiwa. Tubingiwa, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. I've asked you to unmute yourself. Please go ahead. If I murdered your name, pardon me, please.
No, you didn't murder it, Mr. Adeza. That's my company name.
Oh, awesome. Go ahead, please.
Thank you for the opportunity to participate in your masterclass. I can confess to you, you have done a fantastic job here. You've done justice to it, and I just want to come in with like 2 questions, or let me say observation.
All right.
I'm not talking, if I will go into it, I'm not talking as someone who is going to be seeking employment or a job. I want to go into it to also be a consultant or a better consultant with it. So from observation, it seems some of us are interested, but lack the resources at the moment. I don't know if in the future you can structure it such that if you know you are interested, pay in your money and we train you, and when you're done, you do our internship and you're free to go. Get a job anywhere, we can help you get a job. Or alternatively, since you have the network of people or of companies who are interested in your trainees, why not create a kind of pool of your trainees who are unable to pay or make payment or complete their payment, and then after helping them to get a job, you make a kind of a markup to get your payment as soon as they get their job. So it's going to tempt them, it's going to attract them to come in more, since at the end of the day, you may perhaps be the one to get them a job. And you're going to increase your revenue by so doing. That's my thinking anyway. I may be wrong. I don't know the management and model you people have decided, but I think it's going to really increase your revenue as a company. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thanks for that. Before you mute, please, where are you joining us from?
I'm joining from Taraba State.
From Taraba. All right.
Jalingo.
Thank you very much for that. I would say suggestion, which of course makes a whole lot of sense. And as a consultant, absolutely. Consulting itself has to do a lot with expertise. So which means that if you're going to consult for companies, you must know your onions and know your stuff. So what we always advise for people going into the consulting space is you don't just do the data science or the data analytics, but you do both. All right. So you cover the entire ecosystem. Okay. So it gives you a little bit more in terms of you having to work for other companies to help them solve problems, because you need that level of expertise. Like I always say, expertise itself comes with a lot of experience. So you need to immerse yourself a little bit more than, the person studying data analytics or the person doing data science. So the recommendation would be to do the data analytics program, complete it, do the data science program, complete it. And while you are doing that, it will take you about 8 months, close to a year. And then you also have to work on so many projects in between. That would give you an edge to helping other companies, helping other, clients to solve problems in that regard. With regards to your suggestion on, putting a markup saying that, oh, you're going to get a job, we take out of your salary. There are companies that offer those different models. We don't buy into that model for reasons best known to us, in the sense that you deal with people, you deal with human beings, and it can be very tricky. If you join the program and in between you decide that, this is not for me, I'm going to stop. We've deployed resources. Yes, you might have contracts signed here and there, but then we spend all the time chasing people, to meet their own end of the contract. So it's a slippery slope at the end of the day. And it's something that we've considered, but then again, the model we have in place totally works for us 100%. And just like you said, we have payment plans available for people who would like to be a part of our program. All right. We have the 2 payments in terms of you pay the first, make the second payment 1 month after. And if you want a specialized payment plan, you reach out to us directly. We'll see what we can work out for you and see what we can put in place. We don't approve too many of that because of experience over time. All right. But what we do is we make it at least easy for you to be a part of the program. And like I said, in terms of the value that you get from Analytics and the money you pay, they are miles apart. All right. The value is far more than what you have to pay. And with regards to that as well, the fees in 2024 would change upwards because every month, every year, we add new programs, we add new modules to our curriculum to make it richer and give people more value to help them stand out eventually. So the fee is going to increase in the year 2024. Of course, in directly proportional to the value and the additions we are also going to put in place. Okay, but we are open to listening to what you have to say in terms of you structuring a payment plan that if it works with us, we make that available. And if it doesn't, we don't approve. And that's why we have the 2 payment option. But thank you very much for that, to being your company's name. Thank you for that. All right. So guys, again, if you think there is anybody that can benefit from this, you have a cousin, you have a colleague, you have a family member, you have a brother, a sister, a wife, a spouse that you think can benefit from this, send it to them, give them the details, give them the information. When you receive the email, share it with them, let them take advantage of it and get into tech. In the year 2023, year 2024, you have a vista of opportunities available to you to tap into. Once again, I would like to say a big thank you to everybody that joined us today. Prince, thank you one more time for coming to share your story with us, taking out time. And thank you very much, everybody that has stayed from the beginning up until this moment. We deeply appreciate your participation and spending your Saturday evening with us. All right. Again, for us, our motive, our value, our mission is very simple: to get as many Africans and people of the Black community into tech. So you have anybody who wants to get into tech, Analytics is the best place for you to be. Data engineering is also for 4 months. Yes, Olawale, you are correct. Yes, it's also for 4 months. Thank you very much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening and have a wonderful weekend. For those in Nigeria, you have a public holiday, so you'll be chilling on Monday. All right. So enjoy your long weekend. And thank you very much for joining us. Have an amazing time. And until we see in another session, or we see in the class starting on the 7th of October, have an amazing time, and cheers, everybody.